Cool.
Well then. You know, I don't
know
think I'm
what he
gonna
gets
like
it
this
for.
show very much, Lessons. It's full of
Yeah.
assholes. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with another 3 episodes, obviously one at a time on YouTube. If you're a silver tier Patreon, you'll be getting all of them as they're released, immediately. But yeah, we're recording 3 back-to-back today. We obviously have time to take notes, go over everything that we saw last time. I have come back with a board, and we also have some comments. So let's start off with the board as we normally do, where obviously I also come back with the board changelog, where I have added Opoli, Roberto, Quattro, Karate Guy, Mizan, Camille, Fa, Bright, Jared, Kakrakan, Emma, Matouche, Hilda, Basque Franklin, Jamaican? Sorry, I always want to say Jamaican, but that is clearly Jamaican. And Fa's mother. I connected Opoli and Roberto with a green line. I connected Camille to Karate Guy and Emma with a white line. Matash, Karkaran, Mizun with a red line. Fa, Char, and Opoli with a green line. And Hilda with a blue line. I connected Jared to Emma and Kakaran with a green line. Camille and Char with a red line. Connected Kakaran to Emma with a green line. Connected Bright to Emma and Jared with a green line. Camille with a white line. Connected Franklin to his wife and son with a blue line. To Bascom and Jamaican with a green line. I hate that name. And connected Jamaican to Basque with a green line. Sorry, I think for some reason I got it in my head his name was Basque and now the seeing that it's Basque my brain refuses to correct.
I mean, they seem to all fit. Well, I don't know if you could put Jared as green line to Bright, considering what they did to Bright in the second episode.
Jared didn't.
Well, I guess it wasn't there.
Yeah. I'm sorry, if your parents beat the shit out of some kid, I'm not gonna put a red line from you to that kid. You weren't there. Literally, that was the 3 guys that I have a red line to Bright. They were the 3 in the room. Jared wasn't present. We don't even know if Jared knows.
Well, with his attitude, I don't think he's gonna care either way.
Why? He's not.
He's an asshole.
He hasn't. Well, you say that. He is Maverick from Top Gun.
Yeah, when was the last time Maverick crashed an F-14 to a building? We're like, whoops.
I legitimately haven't seen the new movie. Or I knew, what's it, 2 or 3 years old now? 5 years old? I don't even know. I haven't seen the movie. Could have been at the end of the movie. Legitimately the closest to now that it could have been. Dude almost crashed into the tower.
Oh, really?
He buzzed the tower that's legitimately close to crashing it. And as I said, he's just Maverick from Top Gun. I don't think if Maverick crashed the plane, he would fucking care either.
That would make him an asshole too.
I don't think the act of crashing. Look, I'm saying that he has a pilot mentality. On what I'm saying, he has one of those over the top pilot mentalities, and that is okay. If we were making a scale of horrible to good, he is here. But when we compare him to say Basque Kakarian, God, all the fucking names I can't say are all the bad people. That's the way you prevent getting talked about. I'm going to name my son the most confusing name possible. They'll never make fun of him. I go to the extreme. Anyway, they're way down here. So by comparison, this guy being right here, not so bad, really.
No, I mean, the dozens of people that got injured and probably even killed. No, that's bad.
Literally not one of them on screen.
We see them injured. Oh, yeah, you have to be carried in a stretcher, but that's fine. It's just a scratch. Don't worry about it.
Legitimately, it's days off work.
Yeah.
You've never prayed to the gods of heavy object on tall shelf to give you some downtime?
No, because I have been hit by heavy objects on top shelf. And let me tell you, that's a downtime I can avoid.
Used to be a warehouse manager and safety captain. Prayed to the gods of the tall, high shelf heavy objects all the time. Please, God, let it land on my leg. I need these arms. I could get by with a crutch in one leg or a walker.
No, it's yeah, no.
Pray to the gods of workman's comp.
I can understand the I don't want to be in this room so badly. I would prefer to get hurt sentiment, but yeah,
I mean, such is the way of capitalist society that we view workman's related injuries the same way that being in a trench and shooting yourself in the foot is that.
Stress casualty.
I'm just saying, it's a sliding scale of assholishness that when your assholishness is just, I fucked up doing my job, versus, you know what, you're in my room, beat the shit out of you. Not so bad by comparison.
I mean, I have notes about that.
I know, we have a whole note section. I'm just saying that scene, like, I'm about to give my whole note away. I'll wait. I have more to say, obviously, and it's biting its way to get out of my throat, but I'll wait. You go first, as always.
Episode 1, and this is more a correction to the audience than to ourselves, because we did kind of correct it later.
That's right, audience. We're correcting you.
Well, no, I'm correcting ourselves.
Well, now you have to correct yourself, because you said it's a correction to the audience.
Yeah, as to their benefit, not that they're correct.
That's right, audience. You need benefits.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I'm on your side.
Correction. Sure, sounds like it. Yeah, very convincing. Yeah. Correction. We said during the video that Zeta takes place in 0085, when in fact it takes place in 0087. For context, it's 5 years after the events of Stardust Memory, and
incorrect.
4 years. 4 years.
Yeah, I would say your correction was incorrect.
Yeah, after the events of Stardust Memory, and 8 years after the events of Mobile Suit Gundam.
7 years after the events of Mobile Suit Gundam.
Well, remember,
by the most technicality. Oh no, yeah, but it ends in 0080. Remember?
Yeah.
That's what I said. By the most technicality. I was already saying that before I said that to you. Yeah, we have a comment literally correcting us about the year. But my problem with that is we self-corrected in episode 2. I said, "Oh yeah, that's right. It's 0087." Because I think the problem is I'm the one who said it was 0085 multiple times. Was G-Quox in 0085? Yeah, it was. G-Quox was in 0085. And I remember, because we kept bringing up the fact that if the Gundam that came through was either from Mobile Suit Gundam, which means it would have been an older model, or if it was from Zeta, in which case it would be more advanced. All right, my notes then. Maybe they decided to start us off with the bad guys this time? That the reason Camille seems so unlikable is because he is. We start off with him being a little shit and then joining the bad guys as a way of then introducing the good guys. I mean, the opening has what seems fairly obvious to be Amuro, Fra, Mirai, Hayato, Kai, and Bright. Obviously the kids, but they're not the heroes. Maybe they're the heroes now, not the heroes then. Well, they are, kind of. Anyway, not getting into the weeds on that one. Of which we've seen Bright already. By the way, obviously I write my notes in order, so if this is incorrect, I will course correct as the notes go on. It's the only thing that makes sense to me at the moment. Not that it's doing a very good job of paying it off. I'd like to think that the first thing a show needs to do is invest you in its characters, one way or another. But so far, I couldn't give two shits about Camille.
I agree, and I have more notes about that later on. I don't want to, because we're going to go back.
Yeah, I know. The problem of breaking your notes up when you... My problem with that is I self-reference my other notes, so when I go out of order, it's not going to make any sense.
Well, when I get to it, because talk about good guys and bad guys here in this scenario is... It's possible, but yeah, there's always an asterisk. Which is Gundam, so...
Yeah, no, I mean, just go ahead. I mean, I understood what you're saying. There's no interjection.
Yeah. So my second note. As we get to the first... And we get to the first lap of the series, it will not be the last one, at least in these 2 episodes. At least Camille will roll with it this time around.
I think it was
He's
the
coming
last
out
one.
from
No, I think it was the last one. It's the only slap. Everything else is a punch or a kick or a baton. So far the last slap. We've upgraded the same way Bright did.
To full on, corporal punishment. Not corporal punishment would be murder.
Well, I mean, a kick to the head for one thing.
Yeah.
What I was saying before about uniforms and confusion, the guy we both immediately recognize as Char, despite being called Quattro, has rank symbols on his uniform that match with the Earth Federation rank of Lieutenant. The obvious confusion lies in the element of, if this is Char, what's he doing in the Earth Federation? Additionally, why is he in the Earth Federation and spying on / stealing from the Earth Federation?
Yeah.
I mean, I got more notes later on about uniforms and rank symbols, but obviously this leads into the AEUG.
Now we know who Lieutenant Quattro really is. The question is why both the demotion and in the change in the name or the assumption of a pseudonym. Because clearly he's the one who's like, is it Amuro Ray? Is it Lala Soon? It's like, very few people will know those two names at the same time, especially connected to being a new type.
I mean, I've got another note about that later, about how not clever they're being about hiding the fact it's Char. I mean, I don't know if they even intend to hide it. Then why give him a new name? So. Maybe the new name is just a plot point to come about later. Stop calling my name all the time. I don't want everyone to find out it's me. What a confusing statement. He just ran by a person that recognized him and is now running in tandem with a friend that also recognized him. Presumably, he hasn't been going to practice nameless all this time. I mean, Fa even indicates that everyone already knows. I get that the scene is meant to show us that he hates his name, but we have scenes coming up that do a much better job of it. I really just don't get the point of this interaction. Easily 40 seconds we could have allocated to a better scene.
Yeah, and even that running scene, like he seems to be running for him, and she just keeps up with him, like, stop running. What do you mean about? And they seem to have a normal conversation, but going like full blast, like, oh, what like, can you people breathe at some point?
I mean, they're kids.
Inhale.
Or young
even
adults.
Kids have to inhale oxygen.
Yeah, I'm just saying that they're better equipped to do what they're doing than you and me would be anymore.
Yeah.
It's just the element that, he goes into then scene after next, because, we get the whole linear tram thing. But then he goes to see Jared for the first time, get his head kicked in for defending his name. That scene was better at showing that he hates his name. We didn't need a whole scene of, stop telling people who I am, when we've already seen people know who he is.
Unless he's registered under a false name or something, which doesn't make any sense. Everybody knows his name, so,
Yeah, it's a dumb scene.
Well, talking about Camille. So Camille abandoned practice and got slapped for it, so he could fanboy around Captain Bright?
Well, no, it seems like he wanted to see ships coming in and going. God, what was the name of the ship?
Is the name of it was a personal shuttle.
No. What's the name of Bright's ship?
I forgot what it was.
They mention it once, and I think it's in episode 2, and I didn't write it down because I didn't know what it meant at the time. But it could have been that he was waiting to see that come in, because the fact is that the linear tram goes outside, so he might have been able to see that come in. But I don't...
Either fanboying about ships or fanboying... I mean...
He just claimed to have seen Bright before, and I think he got an autograph, but I don't think he's much fanboying about that as much as he has ships, because he even just keeps having visions about the outside. Yeah,
he's weird. His motivations are...
Well, I mean, I get his motivations. I know I've said one thing already in my first note, but as we go on, my notes become more about what I've seen in the episode so far, and I'm very clear on Camille's motivations. I mean... The thing is you can know why someone's doing a thing and still not agree with it. And that's where I'm at with Camille, is that I know, I mean, I understand why he's doing what he's doing. Still, bullshit. I don't like it.
I'm like, I want to understand him and I can't.
It's very surface level. I think you probably do understand it and you're just like, that's not enough for you, I think is what's probably happening.
Yeah.
He's about it. He says it constantly. So
Your next note then.
the linear car service voice says that the departure will be in 30 seconds. Camille gives it a voice override to go as soon as possible because on top of all of his other negative traits, he's also impatient. The car then leaves 15 seconds later. What a massive time saver that was.
I mean, if I calls him out, I was like, "What's your rush?" Like,
well, it's just the element. We
now.
have this whole scene just to show that he's impatient, and all he saves is 15 seconds. 15 seconds is a time saver if you add it up to a bunch of other stuff. Like, I found out if I did this first and then this second, I saved like a couple of seconds in between, like a speed run, right?
Yeah.
But this is just 15 seconds, of which you're spent sitting there anyway.
And of course, Camille is a hothead who is sensitive about his name and seems to hate the Titans for some reason.
See, you understand. That's legit. His motivation is he hates Titans and soldiers.
Why?
Well, I mean, one can extrapolate from there.
Problem is, we're not getting a lot to extrapolate for him. So
yeah, but I mean, that's the basis of his motivations. He hates the soldiers. Oh, because of the bully thing. I forgot. Yeah, the bully thing. He mentions it a couple of times too. However, the problem is that he is a hypocrite. He bullies the bully, which makes you the bully.
Well, he starts the fights, right? He's like, that guy.
No. I'm talking about later when he's like, I'm going to intimidate this guy with a Gundam. Shoots the Vulcans at you. Yeah. It's like,
or he's being let go, and the guy just says something out of cuff, like, "Oh well, I was about to be freed, but no, I got to fight this guy now." It's like,
no. See, I'm not going to get into that because I have a note about it. He does more than that. He didn't just say something off cuff. He does more. You're just forgetting, obviously, but again, I don't want to. We've already said like 3 things. I have an entire paragraph for. So I think that was your note. So I think the only reason Camille could see Apolly, Roberto, and Char is because of all of them are new types. I think the flashing was meant to represent his perception and not that their mobile suits were actually lighting up. We see later that Camille has what seems like new type senses, and Char senses something when Camille is looking their way. No clue why Char would think of Amuro or Lala, other than to possibly say that Camille's new type power is as strong as theirs were. That and to remind the audience, invoking in their minds to think about past new types.
I don't know if Roberto and Apolly are new types, though.
I think they are. I think this is probably... You remember last time we saw Char? He was talking about... not a new type revolution, but the rise of the new types. So it seems likely to me that he would have surrounded himself with new types over the intervening years. I'm attributing information that the show has not attributed, so that's my guess.
The show is very clear telling us that people are new types.
Yeah, it's more so the element that he sees all 3 of them flashing, and if that's a common denominator between what's the thing that they all might have, well, we know Char left us being like pro new type about everything, so maybe.
I'm going to keep calling him Quattro because that's the name the show gives us. Quattro did press a pound key on the keypad. We made a joke about, he didn't press a pound key.
No, he pressed the star.
Yeah, the star. Well, the pound key, yeah.
No, the star is different from
the star.
Yeah, no, because I also looked at it. It was like, because I went back and like, okay, this is number, was it like 4-3 star 3 something or whatever it was? Yeah. And I looked back to see if it actually hit the keys. Now, his finger does this weird perspective thing where it seems to almost not hit them, but he is doing it. He hits the right keys to what his little hacking device did. Yeah, no, I watched it too. I went back, like, what's the numbers? I want to catch him fucking up. Nope, they were animation accurate on that one. They didn't have to be, but they did, and I appreciate that, at least. I don't recall if we ever speculated about Bright being a new type. We considered a lot of people to possibly be new types, but I don't recall an instance of Bright. At the same time, Camille is saying it with an element of hero worship, while Fa seems to doubt it.
I would let her see other things out there that may confirm that, but yeah.
We went movie levels into new type.
I was wrong. I wrote this note, and now I'm wrong about this note. Because you said this, and I actually turned out to be wrong. in my original note, I say I was wrong. All the action takes place in the same colony, but in fact, it doesn't. It takes place in Green Noah 1 and Green Noah 2. Just seems very confusing.
We had a
the way set
conversation
up.
before we started recording about
Yeah.
all of that, and we're like, maybe we should wait until we start recording. My problem is that the show does a terrible job. God, I can't remember what I was looking up, but I literally came across a Reddit thread about somebody who also had the same misconception. I've turned Dutch. Somebody had the same misconception about it all happening on one colony. And I said, they don't do enough to distinguish the two from each other. There's no good shot from the outside that shows that there's two different colonies out there. So when they do something and no one reacts to it, you know, the element of Char going over there and doing a thing, and then we go back to the other colony and nobody over there is talking about it. There's just nothing to distinguish these two events aren't happening in the same place. You know, for all intents and purposes, why wouldn't they be? Why do we need to make this confusing distinction if the distinction between the two places doesn't matter? I
try it pretty big most of the time, so yeah, you could fit all this in one place.
No, I just mean narratively, what's the purpose of having them be in separate places if it doesn't matter? Okay, cool, Secret Titan base over there. That was a good 10 minutes, but did it amount to anything? Secret Titan base could have been over here.
Yeah.
All right. I thought I heard a girl's name, but that kid looks like a boy. What a stupid fucking thing to start a fight over. I mean, I get standing up for yourself. Go over there and yell at him if you feel the need, or, you know, talk to him like a reasonable human being. I get the tone he has when he sees the uniforms, that he doesn't like the Titans. Even still, those two things together don't really make it acceptable to fly over and punch him in the jaw for a comment he made to himself from across the room. Who knows, though? Maybe there's something I'm missing here. The last time we saw the Titans was at their inception, and it was from our main character's point of view in Stardust Memory. Maybe in the last 4 years they've turned into the Gundam's equivalent of ice. In which case, I wouldn't even need Camille to justify himself. All I'm saying is that it's hard to judge anger that may be directed at that person or the organization without knowing what the perception of them is and what they are known for doing.
Which is kind of my problem. Yeah, I get that he doesn't like them, but what, and he knows he's a hothead, but there's that missing piece of, okay, what leads him to just attack on sight and then keep on fighting? It's like, oh, I'm going to fight these guys. I'm going to fight the MPs. I'm going to fight everybody.
Well, it's not attack on sight because he sees them. He's like, fucking Titans. And then he hears it and that instigates him into it. But it's like, I already stated, that's not an acceptable amount of force, especially because he said it to himself. Jared's like, oh, I thought that was a boy, isn't it? Or that looks like a boy. And it's only because of your new type powers you can fucking hurt him. So it's just like, you're kind of the dick here. Dude can say whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to have to really come back with like a backstory flash or something. That like this kid went through some real shit. Like, it's going to take a lot for me to be on his side. Like, we're going to have to see like he went through like a work camp where they like, insulted him all the time. Like, Camille's not even his real name. They gave him a girl's name as like an insult, and he's like, stop fucking calling me that. Like, it really sets him off, like a trigger word or something. I could maybe get that.
My next note then. At least the guards were more responsive this time. I guess they got tired of being infiltrated all the time. Not that it really helped. Like, at least they were like, oh, there's this guy flying around. What do you got? Oh, we got the Gundam. Shoot the guy down, right? They didn't work, but they were like, because there were guys in the controls like, we have that airlock open. That might be nothing. But you better call it in on the lens.
I mean, I don't think they called it in. I think the Gundam was just out and about doing stuff when Char.
No, I think they called it in because
they look like our guys from back at the Jabro attacks who were like in the pillbox. Like, we'll come over here. Those dudes were like relaxing and chill. They did not call anything in.
And he had a cigarette that escaped, and I was like,
I think it's more an element that the Gundam was already out and about because the time between Char getting there and them being like, well, hatch is open. The time we see it later takes them to get into a Gundam and get out there, That thing was way too quick. I think it was just out and about. Also,
Yeah,
the
but once
element that
Gundam,
if they did detect that the hatch was open, then why didn't anybody go out there and get his mobile suit? I think these were just
yeah,
people in the hallways that were already there, and they heard the commotion of the Gundam, as Char says he's opening Opa with the Vulcans inside of a colony. Does this guy even care? So they heard a commotion, and then the alarm goes off. If Char is right, then it took 4 years to make a new colony out of Xeon scraps, unless they mean the people, that they migrated Xeon people to the colony, and he's calling them scraps. Either way, he also implies that it's a secret Titan base, despite Fa saying Space Noids hate the place for having a Titan base, making it seem like it's just common knowledge.
I didn't comment about Fog because it didn't make a lot of sense. Back to Camille. I really don't like Camille. He's an idiot through and through. I can't even excuse it on the basis that he's a teenager. Because I can get that he's hot-headed. I can say that he flies off the cuff. Oh, that's it. But the fact that he just consistently does stupid shit, like,
Well, you remember how much I didn't like Amuro at the beginning. To be fair, I don't like Amuro at the end either, but Amuro is
not
just
like
like a
Amuro.
nothing character to me. Well, because I didn't like him at the beginning for like the bullshit that he pulled. Like, no, I'm not going to get in the Gundam and defend everybody I know on this base because you guys keep asking me to, and then I get incensed when you order me around, even though I accepted my military commission. No, I just don't like Amuro at the beginning. Then when he deserts and everything, and then he becomes a Naruto type character who's just too self-important, too in on himself. So, yeah. And then the thing I keep pulling out at you is that if you removed Amuro from the 1 Year War, nothing really changes, especially because now we know all the other people doing shit in the 1 Year War. The stuff, because he's treated as a decoy. So his decoy antics, in fact, he only makes the war worse, as per my McQueeve Caecilia mine operation comment.
He
But
did save the Federation forces from being nuked.
Sure, but that would have equally have taken out the Xeon forces that were there. So it kind of would just have been a win for the Federation either way, just with less losses. And to be fair, would have taken out Rebel, so I would have been happy. Would have
That
lost
doesn't mean that.
McQueeve, though, so that would have been sadder. Though McQueve dies anyway, and
No,
Tomino
McQueeve-
didn't like
no, Ma-
McQueve, so who the fuck? I don't know.
McQueen was already escaping when the nuke went off, so yeah.
Well, no, it launches from the base that he's in, and then he seems to be escaping. There's no real time lapse between the two things. Conceivably, McQueeve could have just not known how long it takes a nuke to go off. That, or he could have been launching an ICBM to go up out of atmosphere and then come back down again.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was my point? Oh, the fact that Camille starts worse than Amuro, in my opinion. So, I don't know. Amuro went from God, this kid is so fucking annoying. I understand he has PTSD, but he's like up his own ass a lot of these times. And gets to like a neutral point with me. I don't hate Amuro. It's just Amuro is like a nobody for me. Camille is going to take a lot of work to get to neutral. So Char's mobile suit has non-lethal anti-personnel weaponry that works in space. The odd thing for that scene, for me, as I commented on in the reaction, was that he says to stop struggling in order to conserve their oxygen until they are found. I think he must be talking to himself. Like when you see someone doing something stupid and you make an exasperated comment to yourself about it. If he was communicating to them, it would imply that that he's also on their frequency, which conceivably other people could hear him. And also that they would have radios and that they could use it to call for help.
Yeah. I think they should have had radios, whether...
I mean, yeah, if you're out in space, if something happens to you, you want to be able to call for help. So, yeah,
just
a lot of it.
with the other guy who's just standing there. Like, you can't be just constantly talking, touching his helmet, go like, do this, do that, da. It's like, dude, just stop touching me.
Yeah, that's just a lot of it doesn't make sense if you think about it for too long, and that's all we do here on this show, is think about these things for too long.
My next note. We do get an explanation of how Camille knows how to pilot a mobile suit. That will come in handy in the near future.
You're one note ahead of me. My next note. It's weird. You said you watched this in English. You've heard how they pronounce AEUG.
Yeah,
AUG or something like that. Very confusing.
Yeah.
But Anti-Earth Union Group. Evidently, they are all about gaining independence to everyone in space. The thing that you keep saying that Zeon was about for some reason every time you bring up the fact that they attacked other colonies. Zeon was for Zeon independence. Turns out that now we've got a group that's for doing the thing that you wanted, so we can both point the finger at them if they start pulling Zeon tactics, as that wouldn't make sense. Matosh says it's all lies, of course, but he's clearly pro-Titan, and it seems to imply that Titans are specifically anti-AEUG. I say that, obviously, the Titans are actually anti-Zeon, but they just happen to also be anti-AEUG, so not specifically.
Pro-Federation, enforce the Federation rule in the colonies.
Yeah, but obviously they're fighting the Federation. I mean, they're not fighting the Federation, but as per the Bright beatdown,
yeah,
I'm just leaning back on the element that every time we get into a conversation about Zeon's war crimes, you always bring up the fact that they fight other space noids. And it's like, yeah, but that doesn't matter. They're fighting their enemies, and those space noids sided with the Federation. Zeon, again, was only about Zeon independence. They believed themselves superior because they were space noids, but they're not about all space noids. So now we have a group that's pro-space noid independence. So it is what you were thinking about Zeon, so you can just apply that to these guys. And if these guys like go around killing a bunch of space noids or dropping colonies, we can both be like, no, that's bad. Sorry, I'm sure we'd have a harder take, but
I think it would be bad. Well, I would not be pro mass murder. Never have been.
Your stance is built on like concrete here because you've been saying the same thing the whole time. My stance is based on from a Zeon perspective. Colony drops are not okay. 100% success rate.
Well, they didn't actually hit their target, so
yeah, but it always hits a target.
You know,
not like most weapons in the show. Like half the shots shot at the Gundam always miss.
That was your note, right?
Yeah.
My next point. And we do get some hints of this later on, but this is a question that I rose when I was watching it. What kind of pull does Camille's family have that they are ready to let him, Camille, go after he attacked a member of the military and resisted arrest?
Well, no, because that guy says he's more concerned with the alert about the attack than he is of this guy. So he basically lets Camille go because he's more concerned about the attack that's happening on the colony.
No, but he says, you should be careful. Your mom is here. If it weren't for your mom...
Oh, no, sorry. You're talking about the... by the way, that guy on behind the voice actor is labeled Gentleman. So, no name. That's why he's not on the board. I thought you were talking about the two gate guards later on when he goes back into infiltrate.
No, I haven't got... That's in the second episode.
No, yeah, but remember, my notes are just the whole fucking thing. So I'm not separating. But no, I thought that's what you were talking about, and that's what those guys say. Sorry, what was your note again? Because I don't know what you're talking about, Gentleman.
Okay. What kind of pull does Camille's family have that they are ready to let him go after he attacked a member of the military and resisted arrest?
Oh, yeah. As we already know that.
Yeah.
Vis-a-vis his father.
Well, they mentioned his mother. It's like,
well, no, because his mother organized for him to get out. His mother is assumedly the one that pulled the Gentleman in. Yeah. But we know that it's because of his father's... position, I guess, that probably has the pull, unless she is also something in the government. No, because it kind of feels to me like some bits of this resonate with G-Quux. That Camille could be, God, what was her name?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and the fact that her mother also worked for the Side 6 government, that maybe Camille's mother works for the government as well. So maybe government worker mom, military dad.
In fact, they even says if you were a regular
space noid, I haven't known about it.
Space noid.
Literally, I'm going to respond to a comment you made last time, a month ago, with my next one, and then my comment after that is going to be about the thing you're about to comment on. So I'll cut you off there. Hit it with your notes if you've got it. I'm going to hit it eventually in a minute. But I'm about, like I said, respond to a previous comment you made. Camille is the champion of the Homo Avid Air Glider Tournament 2 years straight and won this year's Junior Mobile Suit Tournament. I wonder if those are the petite mobile suits I mentioned, having read in the final chapter of Developers.
Probably.
Because if you saw in the picture, it's like only slightly bigger than a person.
looks like more like a power armor rather than a full mobile suit. But they would be called mobile suits anyway, because that's just what they call them.
Yeah, and as I told you, in developers, they called them petite mobile suits. And I was like, I don't know what that means.
It looks pretty small, so yeah.
I mean, it's also been 7 years, or yeah, I think that happens in 0080. So maybe 7 years since that developer's thing. That'd be enough time to develop one.
Yeah, it also has aspects of Frontiers, like, oh, how this kid knows how to fly this? Yeah, because he goes to a school where he's in the flying, the
Ironically, I think it's a
demonstration team.
callback to the script for the Mobile Suit Gundam movie that never got made. Because if I recall correctly, that one starts with Shaw, as he's ironically called in the movie, and Amuro flying around on wingsuits through the colony.
Yeah.
I think they're supposed to both be in the military, and they both know each other in the movie version.
Could have worked.
I mean, if you ever want to look it up, it's on internet. Wayback Machine or whatever it is.
Wayback Machine, yeah.
Because you have the script, and you also have like little, not animation stills, like concept drawings. So you read the thing, and it has like
it was Sid Meier.
I don't know anything about that, but it's just that if you read the script, it'll have like a 1.1, and you can look over the images that were done for it way back when, and it'll be like, here's image 1.1 describing a French villa-style building off in the distance of the colony.
That was your note, yeah. If any of this is supposed to make sense outside of Quattro's actions, I mean, at this point, it still doesn't. I understand what Quattro is doing. I understand what everyone else is doing.
I mean, we understand what he's doing. We don't understand why he's doing it either.
Yeah.
So the military police can hold a common space noid for 4 to 5 days, according to the guy that comes to get Camille. I feel like that is meant to be a sign of Earth Federation oppression on the space noids again, and that my knee-jerk response should be understanding of what an AEUG type group would come from in these circumstances. Except, I just remembered Camille punched a military lieutenant in the face out of nowhere. Conceivably, they would be able to hold him for 2 to 3 days before getting him in front of a judge, and then however long for whatever his sentence is. Camille isn't being threatened with something unreasonable. He's being threatened with the consequences of his actions.
Yep, I agree. Pretty much. I mean, okay, even if we later learn that there might be extenuating circumstances, again, it's not the smartest move to just go like, oh, I'm going to punch you in the face because you called me a girl, I
mean, it shows that he could have legitimately skipped on karate practice.
Yeah. That was your note. So I go to my final note on episode 1. I noticed that the cockpit of the new AEUG mobile suits is in the head of the mobile suit, not the chest like the other types of mobile suits. When Quattro gets in, he actually goes to enters and exits from a side green door on the side of the head.
Are you talking about those specifically? Because I believe the Gundam is still chest mounted.
No,
cockpit.
I say literally those specifically because
that's what I'm asking. You said those specifically because I'm trying to remember, and I don't remember him getting in and out, so I just don't remember the scene visually. You describing it is not going to help me remember.
Let me read my.
Because also, the element that I have still questions about why the GMs get shot in the head and fucking just explode. Because it doesn't make any sense.
The head exploded. The rest of the suit was still there. So.
No. Every time you shoot a GM in the head, it just fucking goes down for some reason. It's been a common factor, and it's like, why? Ever since we covered the fact that the specific way you take out zakus, it's always been like, why do the GMs fucking explode when you shoot them in the head?
Cheap ass copies, I guess.
Reactor head.
Yeah. Let me repeat the note just to make sure. I noticed that the cockpit of the new AEUG mobile suits is in the head of the mobile suit, not the chest like other types of mobile suits, which includes the new Gundams.
I mean, just assuming that he's an AEUG. He never confirms it. That's a question we had since the beginning of our notes.
Seems to be, unless there's another faction.
Well, here's the thing. There's like I brought up before, the fact that he's wearing Earth Federation rank insignia. Why would the AUG be Earth Federation rank insignias?
Maybe
they legitimately against the Earth Federation. We have like 2 factions of Earth Federation military, which is normal military and Titans. Then we have 2 factions of anti-Federation. Axis, which we know is out there because of Stardust memory, and the fact that they keep saying that Titans are an anti-Zeon force, so there has to be a Zeon force out there somewhere. And AUG. So why would the AUG wear the same rank insignias as their enemy?
To distinguish them from Zeon, I guess, but...
Well, why wouldn't they just have their own? As we know from War in the Pocket, you can visit any dollar store and get rank insignias of any type you want.
Yeah.
I don't like getting bullied by thugs. I think, benefit of the doubt, he's leaning back into his dislike of the Titans and considers the military to all be thugs. Thus, any slight he perceives by them gets answered with an insane amount of his own. He's still completely in the wrong, and I'd be just as pissed with him as the guys he's attacking are, but I'm at least trying to understand why he's doing what he's doing. Also, saying you're being bullied because someone says your name is a girl's name from down a hall and to himself? I mean, Camille had to run down a corridor to address it. That makes Camille the bully for trying to thought police a guy with violence. As for Matosh, like I said, I get the frustration he feels for having to deal with Camille, but not really any justification for throwing a book at him, which is the thing I was saying before that you must have forgotten. He grabs the book and throws it at him. At the same time, Camille's reaction, I don't know, man. The kid has no self-control and should be locked up. I certainly regret finding out that he was taking karate lessons at the start of the episode, knowing how violent he gets at the drop of a hat.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't even get hit by the book. I remember the part where he throws the book.
No, he did get hit by the book. It hits him like in the chest or upper body, at the very least.
Yeah.
Because that's why he jumps up and goes after Matosh. And it's like, okay, he did technically assault you. I kind of understand this one, but you know how I keep telling you when we get into these conversations about what the morally right thing or ethically right thing to do is? And I keep saying, yeah, but you have to be realistic here. You can't always do the right thing because everything is against you, and you have to assume how the world really works versus how it works on paper. Yeah, I got a future note about Bright specifically for that.
Well, Bright had a point.
Okay, wait. Let's not get into that yet. The same way that we're not addressing the two gate guards just yet. I'm just saying that there is I think we both understand what I say, being realistic versus upholding your commitments or your, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Now I'll go to episode 2, Departure. So Camille makes a clean getaway only to circle back to the base?
I literally brought it up like 3 times, how crazy that was.
Yeah.
You know what, actually, I think my next note literally goes in with yours, so I'll just read it at the same time. I don't think Camille's own internal monologue is to be trusted. He gets into a Jeep and drives away, tells himself to stay seated until he can get away. Seconds later, with no threat in sight, he's standing up and jumping out of the vehicle.
Oh, by the way, he got shot at when he was leaving, and the vehicle goes damaged. No significant damage.
I don't think the vehicle got shot. I mean, he got shot at. I don't think the vehicle got shot.
No, it got a hit, but just nothing. No, these are electric vehicles. They don't have like gas tanks or anything that explode. Or, I mean, electrical vehicle fire is pretty hot, but normally not set up by a bullet. This is where the two, Green Noah 1, Green Noah 2 kind of scenario comes in. Bass was in another facility outside of the colony. That just makes things more confusing. It may be that that this is the one that Quattro breaks into, while Green Noah 1 is the one that Apolly, I said Roberto, but it was Apolly, stands the camera over. We know there are at least 3 mobile suits, and that might be one that Jared Mesa goes to get. Which turned out to be wrong. He actually gets to get
It's also not the one with the cameras at. The Gundams have numbers on them, 1 through 3, so we can see which one he's at by where that Gundam's at. The fact that one then crashes into the building, and that's the building that Camille's at, we then know that that's the one he's watching. Although I will say that if you're saying that Bask, God, I wasn't calling Bosk. Probably because Bosk is a character from Star Wars. Anyway.
Yeah.
if you're saying that Bright goes to the other colony to see Bask.
No, it's the other way. It's the other way around. Bask is in the office, and this other
I think it makes more sense if Bask is at the other one.
I have to go there.
I think it makes more sense if Bask is at the other one because all the events that take place aren't where Bask is. So if one colony is having all the events, and he's also saying that this is a Titan's base, and if he's at the secret Titan's base, that means he's in control of the entire colony. And would make more sense that he's doing this shit to Bright instead of beating the shit out of Bright and then letting him walk away in front of all the other regular Earth Federation soldiers.
He goes to that because he's like, I have to go out there. It's like, but
my point more so is that there's no transition between him going from one colony to the other. It's just he goes from one location to the next location, which looks the same as the previous location.
Yeah, but I think
you could easily edit this and remove 1 minute of stuff happening on screen and just claim everything's happening at the same location.
Because there's a very brief shot when we see Green Nova 1, the main colony, and then we see this other structure. It looks like another Banshai. And after that shot, we see kind of closes in a little bit, and that's it when Bask is like, the conversation with Franklin. It's like, Franklin, I guess I got. And then he looks at the screen, looks at a colony on the screen, and goes like, I guess I gotta go there.
I want to say my catchphrase here, Lessons. I don't care. We've already spent 20 times longer exploring this than the show has taken telling us that there was 2 colonies. I can't be asked to do more work than the show has at this point. Anyways, I think that was your note.
Yeah.
What in the world am I gonna do after something like this? I mean, at this point, at least this line might go a ways to explain why he steals the Gundam and joins up with Char. He felt backed into a corner and is choosing not to face the consequences of his actions, and is instead choosing to run away and start over elsewhere.
Pretty radical. I guess he was being threatened with being arrested.
Well, no, he's gone further than that now. He's gone so much further. That's what I'm saying. I appreciate that he's like, what in the world am I going to do after doing something like this? He's like the meth head that killed a man to get more drugs, and now is like, he's having that clarity moment that the drugs have kicked in. It's like, oh no, what am I going to do? That's what Camille is like right now. Oh shit, what am I going to do now?
Well,
I was impulsive in the moment. Now I'm free again. The adrenaline's wearing down. Fuck. What do I do now?
Except that later on when he does get in the Gundam, he does some other stupid shit.
No, that's why I said he's running away from the consequences of his actions. The running into a Gundam is a means to persecute a bully in his eyes, and 2, it's his method of escape. It's either going to be this, or I assume he's going to pull a Artesia and Casval and hide away on a transport. Get away. Why not? We're stealing everything else from every other Gundam. This is essentially episode 7 now.
Yeah.
By which I mean Star Wars again. Bosk is a character from Star Wars.
Yeah. My next comment, very short one. The Red Comet? Of course not. This is Lieutenant Quattro. And everyone's like, he moves like the Red Comet. Oh, the Red Comet. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is Lieutenant Quattro. This guy's good, but he's no Red Comet. I
mean, I already went on about the whole Red Baron conversation that we had from before. Yeah. It's insane to me that everyone, but then again, it was only, the Nightmare of Solomon people were still talking about, teaching him in school 3 years later, so maybe Char is a taught at school figure now. I don't know why, as I indicated, even back in Mobile Suit Gundam itself, there were better pilots and better leaders in the 1 Year War than Char. Char must have to do something better in this show, or obviously a movie that I would know the name of. that's going to have to pay off for all of this Char dick riding that's been happening. So, just invaded a secret Titan base, was seen by at least one pilot and a bunch of ground forces, flew away in a bright red mobile suit that any number of people outside the colony would have seen, I don't know why I said seen me fly in, first personing this. Better fire a bright signal flare to alert my allies that I need their help. Char maybe have started with a low score in stealth, but I feel like he's gone into the negatives.
I think at this moment, well, remember Minovsky particles and all that. So yeah, that's
Minovsky
standard
particles
operating
don't
procedure.
prevent you from seeing the flare.
Yeah, but that's why they use flares.
No, my
Everybody uses
indication is that
flares.
he stealthed. He fired a signal flare. I'm just saying that, again, he's bright red uniform, bright red mobile suit. Everyone saw him coming in. Everyone saw him leaving. Fired a signal flare. This stealth mission is the least stealthiest mission I've seen outside of a comedy.
Yeah, well, it's like that meme. Well, oh, stealth is optional. Okay, let me bring my bazooka. You know, like
Brought
what the
grenades
fuck doesn't work? Yeah, yeah.
on the stealth
Uh,
mission.
now my next point. I guess Camille's dad, Franklin, is the reason why he got. I'm talking about Camille, got away with so much. He might even explain his hatred of the military because we don't know his relationship with his dad, right? He might be that he just, maybe his first bully was his dad and he hates his dad and by extension hates the military.
Put that on a shirt. The first part. Maybe his first bully was his dad.
Oh, I know there's a
I'm
saying,
sure you'll sell a
saying
lot of
don't
them. In
be,
fact,
don't. I think they know their shirts that say, "Don't be your child's first bully." So this will be the other part. Yeah.
Maybe we'll put that on the shop. I'm sure there's a bunch of broken people out there who might buy that.
Yeah.
Much like most of capitalism, making the money on the backs of broken people. Jesus Christ, Char. It's been 7 years. I'm sure you've met other people since the end of the war. This breathing. Could it be Amuro? Why would it be, my man? Also, how familiar are you with Amuro's panting that 7 years later you can still identify its sound in your head? I've already said that Char wasn't the best Zeon pilot of the 1 Year War in the series he was in, let alone all of them combined. Making him hopelessly obsessed with Amuro now, especially in this way, isn't helping that projection of how cool and collected Origin tried to present him as.
Yeah. He's not that special.
Oh, he's a certain type of special, all right.
Or the bus, back of the short bus special.
Shorter the bus, greater the powers, apparently.
Now, you mentioned the book thing, but still, I think this note still holds up. The only reason Camille jumped into Unit 3 was to go after the MP that beat him up, who did that after Camille attacked him. I'm not supposed to like this punk, am I?
Well, I also pointed out that I think he's doing that as a means of escape for everything else that he's done previous. This is an element of, well, I'm already doing this thing. Why not this thing as well?
It just seems like a...
Because, it also plays into his anti-bully thing as well, given he's like Bright and Emma. No, get away, you're going to get hurt. And they're the ones that were actively concerned for his well-being instead of like yelling at him to stop doing the shit versus him going after the people who yell at him to stop doing this shit.
Very dickish. Still a dickish.
So it's not entirely anti-soldier, even though he doesn't like soldiers. He's still like, back up, you're going to get hurt. So Camille, the kid that doesn't know what a space noid is, points out that the elite space forces are all people from Earth.
Yeah, that conversation, he didn't know what the AUG, the acronym was. He didn't know who the space noids are. It was like, either, again, in someone else, it might be like he's just taking the piss out of the guy. It's like, I'm not going to cooperate with you. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But here comes like, well, I don't know. And the guy's like, what do you mean you don't know? It was the whole tone. And then someone, and if this kid, if Camille were more like a smart ass kid, like, space noids? What do I know about space noids, right? Something like that. But he was like, oh, space noids? I don't know about space noids. Oh.
Well, it could be two. To me, it could be two things. Either he's very insular, in which case he's just not paying attention. That doesn't seem to be the case because he's won a number of competitions where it seems like he's part of a group. Like the shot about the tiny mobile suit. I forgot what they call it. He is like one of like 6 people in a picture. It could be that they might not teach space noid, Earth noid stuff in schools anymore. Like, if we don't teach it, they won't grow up to be radicalized by it.
I suppose, but he is living in a colony, for a while, I guess, 2 or 3 years, maybe more. So it would come up. Somebody would use that term, right?
I mean, you'd think, but again, it's been how many years?
Also, you don't know about the people that want to liberate.
Right,
The
right. But that
colonies
might be an
ostensibly.
element of the same way that I don't remember getting taught a lot of Islamic or Muslim shit at school, which means I don't really know a lot what's going on religion-wise with those communities, or I don't remember getting taught a lot of the specific American actions in the Middle East that would cause them to hate us over here. So, like, at school, I did not get taught a lot of shit that would lead me to understand the motivations of literal terrorist groups attacking the United States. So, he's still pretty young. He might not be getting taught in school the things that would lead him to understand the motivations of an AEUG, especially if he doesn't know what they are.
Yeah. So it's kind of hard to know. Okay, the whole space nuts thing sounds more like you're going to Catholic school, and then someone says, "You know what a Catholic is?" I don't know what a Catholic is.
Well, no, I think it's different.
Then you're in space and you're a space noid or an earth noid or
Well,
whatever.
no, the reason to call someone a space noid is to call them something other than what you are. So if you're all space noids, you're probably not calling yourself space noids. It's probably, that's a very specific term, only used in specific circumstances. I can't think of an example here because it's not a situation on Earth where I think that would come into play unless, you're getting into racial terms. Now, I don't mean racist terms. I just mean racial terms, like distinguishing.
Yeah, racial assumption.
Yeah. Yeah, so it might just be that they don't use the word outside of that. You're people, you're human beings, you're men or women, and then sometimes you have to make the distinction of Earthnoid and Spacenoid because those guys in that military uniform over there are Earthnoids. But he doesn't refer them that, he just says they're from Earth.
So Bright is also a new type. Yes, I know that Fa said something about that in the first episode, but now we get confirmation of it.
Well, no. Camille said something about that. Fa said she didn't think so.
Oh, yeah. Either way,
As
it was
per
in that
my note.
conversation that comes out, yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Camille saying something doesn't make it true. We need something from Bright to prove that he is.
And we did.
Did we? Oh, yeah.
he
feels like he's getting the same sensation. You don't have to explain lessons I already said. Or I was in the middle of saying, but I just don't want to hear the explanation. I understood what you said, and I have to believe the people watching us already have watched this already, and they know. All I'm going to get is a correction. So Jared uses the excuse of showing off to the new recruits and being combat ready per orders for having crashed into a building full of people. His final excuse is that he crashed into it in order to avoid crashing into residential buildings. Except every shot we can see of the area from top down to sweeping long shots shows that this building is surrounded on all sides by forests. He could have crashed anywhere for what seems like miles and not hit anything. It seems more likely that he would have had to have tried to hit this building the way he did.
I mean, you move pretty quickly if you have like rocket boost, so you could cover even kilometers in seconds. So
right.
And there was damage over
here,
later on. There was damage over residential areas, so nearby.
Yeah, that's because of a fight going on. That has nothing to do with him crashing. I'm saying that him doing this is like firing a bullet blindfolded. Firing a gun blindfolded and perfectly hitting a doorbell. He had to have tried to hit this building because the entire area is surrounded. Why are you defending him? You're the one who called him out before, and I'm like, I'm saying that the entire area here is forest, and there's like a little building in the middle of it, and I'm like, he would have had to have tried to hit this building for everything to have missed the forest to hit the building. And you're like, well, no, not really. He could have been. You're defending him. You're giving him an excuse. No, Jared is a stupid idiot who crashed and built into a building with plenty of area around to not hit a building. The dude drove a car and swerved into a gas station in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. And he walked away before it exploded.
My brakes went out. Well, why didn't you swerve into the guardrail? Why didn't you swerve into the ditch? Why didn't you swerve into the emergency truck sideline? Why did you swerve into the gas station? I didn't want to hit the residential buildings. Nobody lives 5 miles from here.
Yeah. Again, I have no real clue of Camille's worldview or motivation other than the giant chip on his shoulder that he carries. And I don't even know why he has it in the first place. He says he hates the Federation and the Titans. He even stole data from his father's computer. But again, We don't know. I don't know why that is. Does the confusion?
I mean, we've basically already talked about this. We might end up damaging the colony a little bit. Why do we care? We shot a hole in the side of it with the ship, then we blew the hole wider with a bazooka. We saw the air shooting out of the colony from the hole that you flew into. You've already damaged the colony more than a little bit. Also, having Char point out that the Earth Federation will never realize how much more fragile a colony is than Earth is priceless, considering which side he was on during the 1 week battle.
And that at least twice. Well, not twice. Like I said, many times before, Sion used weapons of mass destruction against other colonies. He dropped one gas at people in one colony to use it as a weapon, and then did the same thing during Stardust.
You're attributing to him what the faction has done. I'm saying very specifically, we don't know what he was doing during the 1 week battle, but he was on Zeon's side. We do know what he was doing during the events of Mobile Suit Gundam. So he was not doing massive war crimes. Well, unless in those episodes where we had, what's his name? When they're at the base, and then he just keeps leaving on a boat to go somewhere. Not, unless during that he got all of his war crimes.
It's war crime o'clock. I gotta go. Bye.
I gotta go to space. We gotta set up another colony. Yes. Or I'm personally responsible for setting up the solar array. I gotta get back out there. Garen's gonna know I'm not on the job. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, mostly just for the 1 week battle, which is where most of the war crimes happen. That is from the start of the war to a week later. Essentially, when Operation British is happening, when the nukes are going off, when the gas is happening.
Battle of Loom to the.
Well, again, it took Island Iffish a week to get from where it was to, not Jaburo, but the Earth. So it's labeled as the 1 week battle, the amount of time there, because that's also what the Federation fleet is trying to shoot down Island Iffish. I'm just saying it's priceless for him to point that out after everything. But it's just the element that they said we might end up damaging the colony a little bit. Like, why the fuck do you care? You already blew a giant hole in it.
Talking about caring about the colonists. So beating them bright and disregarding the lives of the colonists is the show's way of showing us how much the Titans and Basque are total assholes. Because
you don't have to explain. You don't have to explain. We all get it. It's not my silence isn't that I don't agree with you. It's just we've already covered it a number of times. That remember when I did my whole little scale of Jared's like here and Basque and them are like here. It's like kind of already said anything I can think of other than I know I have a bright note later. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that I feel was the point of that scene. So it speaks for itself. As Kosh might say, the truth points to itself.
Yeah. It also is a
edged
sword. Edged sword. Your side, my side, and the truth.
Was that Kosh? I think that was Delenn.
No. Delenn says it first, but she said it is what's the name of the people of Kosh?
Vorlon?
It's a Vorlon.
Come on, man. We're watching Gundam. How do you not remember everything about Babylon 5?
And then Sheridan, when he confronts Kosh, he says, your people have a saying, blah, 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 blah. And then Kosh is like impudent and, just the light thing puts him on the wall.
He flashes him up against the wall. And then the fact that he doesn't give up then, it convinces Kosh to do the thing that is going to end his life eventually.
Very shortly after.
Well, sort of anyway. As you know, then he takes up residence in his mind rent-free. Yeah. As his dad. Anyway, speaking of dads. So Camille's dad, segues. So Camille's dad is a lieutenant in the Earth Federation, but his lack of uniform would seem to imply that he's not a Titan. Also strange that he proposes that the AEUG can have the data on the Gundam Mark II if they want it. Either an off-the-cuff remark about sparing the colony a fight, or maybe a suggestion that the Gundam Mark II sucks and is failing its testing or something. Would be a bit of an irony. The time that Char succeeds at stealing a Gundam, it'd be worthless.
Or maybe they have even more advanced suits. It's like, that's the one where that's the one we're developing to substitute the GM, right? Or the gym, as I say.
Well,
in
no.
English,
The
right?
assumption is that the Gundam 01 is the Mark 1, and that the 2 and the 3 are the Mark 2, so they would be substituting their previous version. Which, this is Gundam. It could be entirely possible that the Mark 1 is more powerful than the Mark 2s. And they stole the 2 and the 3, and we still have the 1, which is going to be, the tall geese, or what was that golden one from Seed? The older ones are always more powerful, like the original Zaku's, right?
Yeah.
Too well designed. In fact, we need to make them cheaper and easier to destroy so we can make more of them.
Yeah, the one that, what's her name, piloted the golden plated, the one that reflected beam at weapons.
Yeah, the bullshit
Not
one.
missiles, though.
The bullshit one that just
Not
comes out
missiles.
of nowhere.
I think this is my final note for the whole 2 episodes. And again, everything makes sense except for Camille's actions. But since he is our POV character, it muddles everything around him. Right? If we had been solely on Quattro or some other characters, like, oh, this is what's happening, this is our plans, and this is what we're doing. But it's like, no, we're in this, edgy, kid, whose name is XXX Sephiroth XXX, right? If you were playing a game in the 1990s online, Ooh, I'm so edgy. I'm so angry.
I mean, it makes sense. So we understand the motivations. It's just, I don't know the word, not fun. As I said in my first note, the job of the show at the beginning is to get us invested in the characters so that we're interested to keep watching the show. I have to think that they were invested on the name Gundam, keeping you invested in the show. I understand that Mobile Suit Gundam had some pretty bad episodes near the start. Maybe this is the same way. Maybe I should keep watching. It could get better the way Mobile Suit Gundam got better.
The first episode wasn't that bad.
Of Mobile Suit Gundam?
Episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I'm talking Time Be Still. Still the worst episode.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But
I'd have to give it some thought. It was very much the
15,
very worst episode of Mobile Suit Gundam.
Yeah, episode 15.
No, episode 15 was Doan's Island. The one that got removed. I think this is the preceding one. Well, either Doan's Island was 14 or 15. I'm now having doubts in my head, which would mean that this is either 13 or 14. Time Be Still. The remove the bombs from the Gundam episode, where the bomb expert does nothing.
Yeah.
And Amuro has to be reminded that the Gundam has controls that can lift its foot. You said that was your last note?
Yeah.
Well, I have a number to go. If they were trying to make Char not seem like Char by giving him a new name, then they instantly did away with all of that inside of 2 episodes. He refers to stuff Char would. He rides a red mobile suit. People constantly say he does red comet things. People talk about Char more 7 years after the 1 Year War than they did during the 1 Year War.
No. You see, his name is Quattro.
Who is? I'm talking about Char.
No. Yeah.
I'm not talking about a small, rich Indian boy. Not Indian. Middle Eastern? Middle Eastern boy? From the colonies?
That's Quatre, not Quattro.
These pictures are the same.
Which
you are talking about a blonde boy, right? Who's got father issues and is fighting for the independence of colonies, right? Is that not what we're talking about?
Which literally means the same thing, because Quatre and Quattro means 4, so yeah.
Well, I mean, as I just indicated, they are the same character.
Yeah, one is French, the other one is Italian, so.
Wasn't Char based on a French actor?
Yes.
So, these pictures are the same.
Well, I mean, but also it already has a Char clone in that series, but yeah.
Yeah. But does it have a Casval clone? Yes, they do.
I guess so.
I figured I should put this in my notes somewhere. We reacted to the show in Japanese, but as I do when I rewatched it, I did it in English so I could get both versions, sub and dub, all at once. Well, the interesting thing about the dub is that they give character names all over the place, where the sub doesn't. A lot of times where the sub just gives a rank, the dub will give the rank and name. So if you might be wondering how I know who some of these people are, vis-a-vis the board, thank the dub. Super confusing, as rank insignias have changed since the 1 Year War. When Bright addresses Emma, he calls her a lieutenant, but her uniform has the marks of an ensign. Well, for space units anyway, it would be a second lieutenant for a ground forces member. Are Titans, a group that operates in space, considered ground units? Equally,
No,
Bright...
second lieutenant in... I'm sorry to interrupt.
It's not. I've literally got a chart of rank insignias and which they represent for where. As I said, it changed since the 1 Year War. So after 83, we have new insignias and what they mean. So, equally, Bright is wearing the tab of a commander in the Space Forces, but a lieutenant in the ground forces.
They're equivalent. Ensign
They're
and the second
not.
lieutenant are
I mean, they're not the same
units.
rank, though. And I'm talking about when they address him by said rank.
One is a naval equivalent, the other one is a army equivalent.
Again, lessons. My problem is that they're addressing them by two different ranks. Again, Emma is wearing the rank of an ensign in the Space Forces, but she's being called a lieutenant, and the rank symbol she has that she's wearing is for lieutenant on the ground forces. She's not being addressed by her Space Force insignia rank. She's being addressed by a ground forces rank. She's a Titan member, so is that implication then that the Titans use ground forces ranks even though they are a Space Force? Bright, using the same type of rank insignia, is being addressed by a Space Forces rank, not the ground forces rank that if he was doing to Emma.
But is her insignia a ground force insignia?
Her insignia, they have the same. They have literally the same marks. They have the same marks, but they have two different categories of rankings for them. So she has the single bar going across it with the one pip in the middle, which again would be an ensign in the Space Forces, but in the ground forces she would be a second lieutenant, and Bright addresses her as lieutenant, so I have to assume he's just shorthanding lieutenant.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Right, but my lessons, you're always addressing the wrong part of the conversation. Like, if I said, oh my god, that man's been shot, you'd be like, what's a man doing here? Like, god damn it, lessons. But as I said, Bright has the tab of a commander, which is the double stripe with the two pips in the middle of it, which is the tab of a commander of the Space Forces. If he was addressing somebody, or if he was being addressed in the same way that he was addressing her, he would have been called a lieutenant colonel. But clearly, he's being addressed as a Space Forces member, and for some reason, she's being addressed by the rank of a Ground Forces member. And thus, my comment, are the Titans considered a Ground Forces unit? And by the way, I don't think that they are because of the way Basque's rank is labeled. Basque's rank is addressed as a Space Forces unit. This rings to me of, what's his name, the Admiral from Zeon, who was addressed as a general in a different show.
Yeah. I know you're talking about Yuri.
Yeah.
Anyway, those were my notes.
Your notes were done a while ago. I've been waiting for you to respond, my man. Literally, I was going on about the rank thing because you were saying that I was wrong and I was correcting you, and then I gave you the information to figure it out. And I assumed that in all this time you've been looking at it because that's what I referred to you. Yeah, and then you never said anything again, and I'm like, well, he's just staring off into space, so I assumed that was you looking at the information. So I've just been sitting waiting.
Anyway, yeah, I'm done with that. Steam will be coming out of your ears if we're not for the
I was about to become Camille. I was about to start yelling at you for this stupidity. Well, yeah, no, I mean, I understand the element that you were saying a thing, and I'm trying to reinforce what I'm telling you by showing you the visual representation of it put together by Gundam fans more into the series than we are. Obviously, these are people that have the technical manuals, the mangas read, etc., doing communal work. So I'm using their information to indicate what I'm looking at when it looks like these rank symbols. So I'm invested in the conversation. and you backed out of the conversation without saying anything. So you remember how I keep telling you how I like fill the dead air before you come back at me with a completed thought? I've been doing that, waiting for you to come back, and then I just like gave up for a moment and like read my email and checked the comment section on the YouTube while waiting for you to finish your what I thought was actually looking up what I was showing you.
I looked it up.
But in fact, you were that friend that I'm talking to you and you're just scrolling on your phone and like you're not paying attention at all, which is just reinforces that worry I have sometimes that you're not actually listening.
I am listening. Here's my point. If she has the ground's insignia or the equivalent, then technically speaking, Bright is not wrong.
I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm using the information of the world. As I told you before, when we were talking about Yuri back in Requiem for Vengeance, that the world is right. Our conceptions of it have to be wrong because they're in the world. So if they say that Yuri is a general and they say that Yuri is an admiral, something else must be happening. As I also pointed out that Yuri's rank insignias as a Xeon member don't exist. He has them. They are higher tier than Girin's. So clearly he must be some special unit that we've never heard of before that never gets documented. That, you know, like some sort of spy guy who can say, I am whatever I need to be.
Then they got wiped out, so it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, it matters because he's a cool-ass dude, and we like to remember him from time to time. Look, we've got, like, 3 people who walk around with no shirt, sleeves? So, and open,
they're all dead.
And open vests.
They all die.
Well, to be fair, you were eventually going to get sick and die, because you're like...
True, but in the fiction, they're cool guys. Well, Seema second in command was just there.
No, he has a whole backstory thing, apparently, in the manga. That makes him cooler.
Read the manga. I want to read the manga. I should read the manga, but I haven't read the manga.
I've been reading Gundam 8, and that's been pretty cool so far. But my point is that you keep saying ground insignia, and I'm telling you that there's no difference between the ground forces and the space forces insignia other than referencing if you're in the ground forces or space forces. They're all...
So they have different names. That's what it is.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's no visual distinction between the two.
Yeah.
If you're wearing a rank insignia that has a single line and a single pip, that is the same in rank insignia that you would have in the ground forces and space forces. You would just have 2 different ranks. It's very confusing, and I have no idea why.
You may have a lapel that says UN Space Forces thing, which is, you know, and then, you're an ensign. But it says UNG, which is ground forces, you know.
As per my point.
Actually, no, it's EFG, Air Federation Ground Forces, and UNSSP.
As per my point, Bright doesn't have that on his uniform.
Yeah.
Emma doesn't have it on her uniform. My whole point of my note was, are the Titans a ground forces unit even though they operate in space? And again, I already stated that I do not think so. So it's very confusing that Emma is being referred to by a ground force rank.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense because Bask, if he were a captain, that rank would be far junior than a naval captain.
He's not a captain.
Space Force. Yeah, they call him Captain Bask.
Never mind, he is a captain. Sorry, I thought he was a commodore or commander or something. But looking at the board, and I put on the board that he is a captain.
I think I explained this a long time ago.
Okay, look, you've still got the link that I sent you, right? Yeah. And you can look at the board, and you can see his rank pips on the board.
Yeah.
In the image I have on the board, which is a double line 3 pips.
So is he a space captain then? He should be. If they're using the same insignia but for different branches, then it should be colonel in the ground forces army essentially, and captain in the space forces.
I already addressed this lessons that he is considered his space forces rank because again, as I just pointed out, he has
he's a senior officer,
2 stripes, 3 pips. Forces, so he is referred to as a captain. But if he was being referred to as ground forces rank, he'd be a colonel, and he's not called a colonel. So
yeah,
the
he's a
difference
senior
of
rank.
why is the leader of the Titans considered a captain, but Emma's not considered an ensign?
They might recruit from both sides and they keep their rank or designation. That's probably the only. Or, the writers don't give a shit, as it often happens.
But the problem is it doesn't matter if the writers give a shit. What they say is canon.
Yeah, well, they can still not give a shit.
Again, feels like you're not paying attention. I said it doesn't matter if they don't give a shit. What they say is canon. And you're just like, yeah, but they still not give a shit. It's like, okay, let's return back to the beginning of the last sentence now that we're in the Ouroboros of this conversation.
The canon is broken. The canon is not consistent.
It's not, doesn't matter if it's broken. It's still canon, which means that it is still a matter of fact that this thing is occurring. It doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter if it breaks previously established rules. This is happening, which means it's happening.
Yeah.
Canon is canon, no matter if it breaks previous canon. It's still canon.
Is it though?
Yes, if Tom Clancy shows up on one of these ships writing a novel, then Tom Clancy is canon to the books. Even though he would have died, books, he's canon to the books. I guess technically there are books. Even though he would have been dead a long time ago. The same way that remember when we were talking about Macross Frontier, and was it Dizzy Gillespie was on the papers on the thing, and it said that he died like 100 years after he actually died? That's canon of Across Frontier. It doesn't matter if it doesn't make any goddamn sense. It's in the show.
Yeah. But that's why you have to
Our
be careful
conceptions of what's right and wrong about canon making sense doesn't matter.
What's the point of canon then?
Keeping track of what's been established. That is the point of canon. Making sense is not the point of canon. Making sense is the point of you enjoying the show, I guess. Canon has nothing to do with enjoyment. Canon is like a filing system, right? The Dewey Decimal System does not exist for your enjoyment. The Dewey Decimal System is there to keep track of where books are located.
Yeah, to make it easy to find them, too.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with enjoyment. Is the act of locating the book in the library enjoyable, or is the act of picking the book up off the shelf enjoyable? Reading the book is enjoyable. The Dewey Decimal System is not, well, I get certain somebody gets an enjoyment. Well, probably not anymore. I don't even know if we still use the Dewey Decimal System. But
they still haven't. Yeah, you still.
I'm sure that you ask a kid today, they're not going to tell you. They're not going to know what a Dewey Decimal System is. Probably don't even know what the fucking library is. But my point being is that it is just the accumulation of what is in the universe of the show. It's not itself the enjoyment. The enjoyment is what you enjoy from it. Right? If I go looking up what is the rank insignia of this thing, I might enjoy rank insignias within the show, as I apparently do, because I keep track of Xeon and Earth Federation stuff all the time. But the act of what do I need to get there to look up that information is not the enjoyable part, right? Same way I enjoy doing these reactions. I don't so much enjoy the editing, the audio editing, the video, the stuff that I have to do, all the background shit. So yeah, the point of canon is not enjoyment. The point of canon is establishing what is true in the thing that you enjoy, or if you enjoy it at all.
The take.
I think it is the take. Well, I mean, give me your counter take. What is your definition of what canon is for?
I think canon is about making sense of what's going on, because that's what you're otherwise you're listing stuff just for listing them. I have a pile of data. Why do you have a pile of data? Because it exists.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what data does, though.
No, not a fictional world that we're engaging with, not, looking for books in the library. I think that's what it breaks down, right? I need a filing system in the real world in order to find things. In fiction, I create a filing system because that's how I engage with the material that I enjoy. And making it sense, it's part of the enjoyment. If it doesn't make sense, then it's like, at some point I'm gonna disassociate. Like I cannot associate with.
Right. I mean, but that's what canon is, though. It's the establishment of what is true, what is made up. The difference between the two. Canon itself doesn't have any. Well, like in Star Trek, the difference between memory alpha and memory beta. It doesn't have a place about enjoyment That is for you to decide. It is the establishment and the organization of facts, as you said it wasn't. I mean, not that canon wasn't, but that's not the point of canon in your argument. And I'm saying that is the point of canon, is the establishment of what is true and what is not. It has nothing to do with enjoyment. You're saying it's just a bunch of useless data that is all put together, and that is what it is. Information is just information. It doesn't have any inherent enjoyment on its own. You bring the enjoyment of that. Categorizing the data is just what canon is. Organizing the data from true and untrue, fiction.
You're establishing canon, not merely categorizing, because the meaning of canon is that you're choosing the aspects in which you believe is the core aspect of.
Well, no, you don't choose the aspects of what you believe. That's the filing system. I'm sorry, I forgot the word that I just used a minute ago. The difference between the actual fiction and fan fiction. If I write a story about Gundam, that's not canon. That doesn't get filed into the canon stuff. I might enjoy the fuck out of it. Doesn't make it canon.
Yeah, but I think you are engaging in canon in a way that most people
I think you're incorrect, because I have had to do many group role-playing shit where you have to answer the question, what is canon and what is not canon, so that you understand what the stuff you can use in the RP worlds are. And this is a number of groups across the internet since 1999, from my experience, which was back in the Star Wars role-playing days on Talk City and shit like that. Like, large groups of people that I've interacted with, I've had to use, or Second Life back in the day, also had that question on a bunch of its large, God, it's been so long I've been Second Life, I can't remember the name of the Sims, I guess. Yeah, so I have encountered more people that have used canon in the way that I'm describing it than in discussions with people who I argue what is or isn't canon in the many of the fandoms that I've been in to describe it the way you're describing it. Again, information itself has no intrinsic value towards enjoy or not enjoy. You have to bring that yourself. But information can be categorized, and that's what canon does. Categorizes, Star Wars, after Disney bought it. What is still canon, what became non-canon, or extended universe, as they call it. Categorization of information, not your enjoyment of the information. Everyone loves the dark.
I mean, in that sense, when Disney's basically dismissing a lot of things from canon and saying these are not important to us and they have lesser value and should not be considered in the main concept.
Yeah, it becomes non-canon. It may be in the future used as the inspiration for a new thing that gets made, like Thrawn got brought back and everything like that. But essentially, the old stuff becomes non-canon. That's also a property of canon. It can change. And then, not for nothing, different groups can have their own different canons. You have the official canon, obviously, but for some things, say like Gundam, for example, a lot of people don't consider Origin to be part of the UC canon, like an AU canon, like G-Quux. But we came in and said, hey, everyone, we consider Origin to be part of the canon, and until the elements disagree with one another, we are going to handle it that way. And people still bitch about it because that's what happens when you get into canon debates. Like the same thing for Thunderbolt in some places, where Thunderbolt was its own thing, and then the animation made it part of the UC canon. The future thing, like Reconquista and G, or Turn A Gundam, or certain Bandai releases have included it in their timelines, which has made it canon in many minds. You know, it'd be like if you were watching a tweet from who makes Macross? Sunrise?
Sunrise, yeah.
Yeah, if you watch the tweet from Sunrise,
yeah.
Well, if you watch the tweet from Sunrise and they were looking at the timeline of Macross events, and for some goddamn reason at the end of it, Macross 2 suddenly appeared. Like, shit, they canonized Macross 2.
And not by itself, it shouldn't be. I mean, we saw.
No, I'm saying that's the argument for people that have looked at the Bandai tweets, where the timeline of the Universal Century now includes things that were considered questionable to their canonicity to the Universal Century timeline. The same thing that if Sunrise did that with Macross, and for some reason after Macross Delta on the actual timeline was Macross 2, like, fuck, they canonized it. They made it part of the timeline.
It wouldn't make any fucking sense.
That's not our place. I mean, our place would be to figure out how it makes sense. But then again, I think Macross has the same sort of tangential outside work problems that Gundam might. In that, I started reading that one, 25th anniversary thing where the characters time travel and shit to encounter one another, and I mean that's a bit weird. And that's pretty hard to put into the context of the things that you've seen in the show. But technically, it's a work that they've released themselves, so it would be canon. Versus, say, Super Robot Wars, which would not be canon, I assume. So Camille is just another Amuro. Dad made a Gundam, son got the information on it, takes the Gundam in the middle of an attack. How much of these last 2 episodes have just been the same thing from the OG show?
I don't know if exactly. I mean, they're going out of the way to make this guy not have the same. I mean, in some cases, yeah, because he has the trophies and the mechanical stuff, and he is very mechanically inclined. But in others, especially the attitude and just the whole self-centered kind of way. Because at least Amuro, when you jump into the Gundam, it's like, shit, they're attacking the colony. They killed a bunch of people. I got to do something. He was like, that guy over there, he pissed me off. I'm gonna get in the Gundam and try to, bully him back. I mean, like, what?
Even down to Fra running away from the pit that was at her family and everyone she knew, to Fa, who's only 2 letters off from Fra, running away from the pit that was his house because of an explosion, because of 2 fighting mobile suits. I'm just saying that the bullet point list of things that are the same from this episode and the other one would be more than a page.
Quattro doing the Char thing. He's flying around taking pictures.
You're committed, man.
Char.
He's not doing the Char thing. Char is doing a Char thing. Char is doing exactly the same thing.
It's Quattro. Now I'm saying it's canon. This guy's Quattro until they say otherwise.
I mean, on the board, I put him down as Quattro. I'm just saying he's obviously Char.
Obviously.
I mean, yes. Obviously.
Obviously.
Yes. Obviously.
Sure.
I don't know what you're trying to do. You can't plant the seed of doubt here because it doesn't exist. I mean, if we start episode 3 and Char walks up and shoots Quattro in the face and just, has the same look or something, what the fuck? This show would be fucking stupider. It would be worse if Quattro was not Char.
Who knows?
I know you don't.
No, I don't.
I know you started saying I know nothing about Zeon. You said I know nothing about it's Z. You know nothing about Zeta. And then I made the joke that you're the only person in history that watched 70 years worth of Gundam and don't remember about anything about it. But yeah, no, you did start this by saying that you didn't see the show. So now suddenly suggesting that Quattro is not Char in a real sense would just be total bullshit.
Who knows?
You already said that.
I know.
Just to be clear, Camille steals the Gundam in the middle of alerts the colony is under attack. The fight lands literally next to him. The pilot of the Unit 2, is calling out to him, thinking he is Jared, asking for help. Camille ignores that to punish the guy who hit him with a nightstick. Matosh was harsh, but when the attack came, he still rushed out to try and get the Gundam out to defend the colony, doing his job. But Camille is still just an asshole.
Yes. I pointed out a minute ago.
I think you mean half an hour ago.
No, I also remember that he still is an asshole.
I would have to do a whole hell of a lot of editing work to make that a minute ago. They implied that Unit 2 and 3 were both Mark IIs, so why are they surprised that Unit 3 can fly when Unit 2 was flying before it landed here?
Maybe they're test units and they have different setups. I mean, how much with test units? You can have one has testing a particular thing, like a jetpack, or the other one beam weapon, or what have you.
The degree that Lessons thinks I'm an idiot is sometimes staggering.
No, I'm just explaining.
They could be, yeah, no, but Lessons, sometimes when I inhale, my lungs fill with oxygen, and I feel the need to compress my chest, specifically to exhale the CO2 that was contained within them. You know how it feels sometimes to have the stupidest shit explained to you? Sometimes I don't think about breathing, but sometimes I do. You know, the way that you do think about breathing.
Yeah.
You know, test units work. Sometimes some of them, follow me here, need to be tested.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. Just saying, listen, sometimes you explain to me the thing that you feel that you need to explain it to me, I think is the most insulting part.
Well, what you put in the questions like, oh, how could they not know this? Well, and that's an
Because they're both
explanation.
the same unit. They've covered before that they're both Mark IIs. You are introducing the element that they may be test models testing different stuff. That's not something the show says. That's something you said. So you're like, I'm confused how you could even question this. Probably because you've entered in information that the show did not give us. You know, be like,
I mean,
why did Faw pick the trophy over the other thing in the house that she was considering? That she said both were elements of ordinary life. Oh, probably because Faw and him were dating when she did that. I was like, that's not indicated. No, I just made it up. Why are you so stupid? You couldn't figure that out. It's like that's what the feeling is.
She literally grabbed whatever was closest and ran.
No, she was looking at the trophy and then the award for the aviation thing, and then she was trying to consider which one to pick, and then she just has the trophy in hand. But she's actively talking about how they're both ordinary life things, so it doesn't really matter which one she grabs, and that's when the thing comes falling through the sidewall. But I'm just indicating that if I went onto a whole tangent about why she picked one thing over the other, and then put emotionality behind it that wasn't given by the show, literally the same thing about calling the one model a test unit and the other one a different test unit. You're just adding stuff that the show didn't say. To try to explain a thing, but in the element you're also talking down to me like I'm an idiot for a thing you made up.
I can't apologize because the apology
because I think you're an idiot.
Insulting. No, because it would be more insulting than the actual apology, so I'm not gonna try.
Because you consistently be dumb about a lot of things, so I talk down to you like a baby. Because I think I need to talk to you in a way a baby would understand. I'd be shaking keys at you, but you'd be wondering where the keys came from because you have no object permanence, like a fucking baby.
That was weird.
You good?
Yeah, I laughed myself into near unconsciousness.
The joke that almost killed lessons.
No, yeah, I having pressure in my forehead. I'm like, whoa.
What if you had come back and I was wearing a big old baby outfit?
Don't try to kill me again, dude. What the hell are you doing? Oh, man. Man.
I'd be stupid if you, like, seriously having, like, a problem, right? And I'm, like, here, getting ready for another joke or some shit. God, what was the note? All I remember is object permanence. Ironically, because you think I don't have it.
The thing is, you took it so far. I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
I don't know. Maybe it's deep-seated trauma. Stop thinking like I'm an idiot. I'd punch you in the face like Camille, but I can't reach that far. I don't have Char's legs.
Yeah. Or his guns.
I'm still wondering about Unit 2's pilot uniform. His helmet and his suit has the Zeon uniform's wings on it, but with the Earth Federation's rank insignia. He's clearly a member of the Titans, and they said that the Titans members were all from Earth. So what's going on here? If not for that Earth comment, I would have guessed that maybe this guy is from the Republic of Zeon, and that the wings were a holdover from before. It's just weird that this guy, a Titan, an anti-Zeon force, would have Zeon insignias on him.
Again, I think they're just messing with the whole thing. Yeah, it's not important.
Well, he's the only one, though. We've seen all the other Titan uniforms. He is the only one with that. So I had joked about how it was payback on Bright for slapping around so many people in the past for him to have gotten his ass kicked here. Well, a bit beyond that now in the rewatch. Bright is obviously in the right, but kind of too much of an idiot. He's the lone voice of reason in a room and surrounded by Titan members, where their commanding officer has greenlit violence on Bright for speaking against them on their base. Despite what is right and lawful, in the now, you are in danger. Unless Bright is going to suddenly turn into a karate master, which he doesn't, then he's either going to take a beating or eat his words until a future date where he can bring it up with some future authority. He should have bit his lip and stormed off. He chose a high horse to get beaten off of.
Like I said, I think he had a point. That's what I said earlier. And he was trying to impress him, like, dude, I'm trying to help you here, but I guess talking back to your superior is now a beatable offense.
On a Titan base, on a secret Titan base where nobody might know you're here, then yeah, it's a dumb move. You don't matter if you have a point. You just got punched in the fucking face. Maybe, like, you get 2 punches at that point because you're going to argue about getting punched in the face and it's going to get you hit again. And at which place you shut the fuck up and leave.
But again, I think the whole scene is designed to illustrate how much of an asshole these people are.
I mean, it's supposed to. Criticism. Obviously, this is like the best writing of the show so far. I feel like, even though it makes Bright into a fucking idiot, Bright is somebody that if you watched Mobile Suit Gundam, you're supposed to care about as one of the heroes of the 1 Year War. So seeing him get his ass kicked by a bunch of Titan members automatically sways you to be against the Titan members. I mean, assuming you didn't watch it like we did, where we just came off the back of the inception of the Titans members, which were a bunch of characters. Sorry, that was a stretch. I said a bunch of. One.
Mocha and his buddies were all assholes.
I didn't say Mocha. So. Mancha, also, by the way, there's an N in there. Said an N. No, I was thinking Synapse.
Did he become a Titan?
Yeah, the whole crew did. He was, when they were putting on the new uniforms, his was the back that we see walking in, because he's the captain. I mean, if you like Simone, she was fine.
Yeah.
Also, she was fine. I'm joking. She was fine.
Okay.
I mean, well, she's like the one who's most talkative amongst the entire bridge crew, other than, of course, Synapse. And then people are going to come off of Star's memory with mixed feelings about Ko, but Ko doesn't join the Titans, so...
He got sidelined, yeah.
So it's just really, I think, Synapse is the only one you're going to care about, because he's the other bridge person who gets a lot of back and forth. His conversation with Burning, for example. So, yeah. I guess it doesn't really matter then, Stardust memory. It's just the element that, again, you witness Bright getting his ass kicked, and you just came off the end of the 1 Year War a couple of years ago with the end of Mobile Suit Gundam. So it's impactful to see a hero get his ass kicked. And as I said...
ostensibly, the people that are on his side, which is what makes it worse.
Well, I mean, it proves that they're not. But
True.
My point at the beginning of this whole note section thing about... the thing a show needs to do is impress upon you to be invested in the characters. Well, now you've got a clear enemy in Basque, and crew, and if you felt anything about Bright before, obviously you care now.
Drawn as him, so yeah.
Sorry, it's not often that you indicate to the overlay that you can't see, so I was thinking about a dick joke that I could make.
Yeah, well.
Dick Rider.
Oh, come on.
I don't know, I'm just thinking, you don't often point, so I don't have like a quick snappy retort to when you're pointing. Because it's usually me. I'm usually always pointing at myself, because I know I can see the overlay, so I know exactly where to point. Alright. My last note. Very confusing that it was the Titans, again, an anti-Zeon force, flying what looked like newer models of Zaku.
Updated stuff?
I guess that's also a correction that you didn't make in your notes, but we talked about, those are Zaku's. Are Zeon here? What's going on? And it turned out that those were Titan members, so...
In fact, that's the mobile suit that Jared goes to find. Like, I need to get this stuff so we can follow them. And he
Jared from Subway?
It's a Zaku, Jerkass.
He's fine. Compared to Basque Almond Group, he's fine.
Well,
he's no worse than Amuro. Alright, well, those were the notes. As I said, I got a couple of comments here. Angel James from the Patreon, the episode The Black Gundam. Both of these are going to be from The Black Gundam. Zeta is UC0087, as we already corrected ourselves in episode 2, and now here in our own note section. Lessons is correct. There are 2 different colonies in play. Grips, the industrial place Quattro was in, is different from the colony Camille is from. Grips is Green Noah 2, a former Side 3. Well, that's a spoiler. I'm not reading the rest of that. Camille's colony is Green Noah 1. Also, this is information we haven't been told yet. It's interesting. Another quick detour. I had 4 comments from one person that I read in my reaction to Maoduzushi, where half of it felt like spoilers. And I did this whole thing at the beginning of how people in comment section are often not trying to spoil us, but tell us information the show hasn't given us yet. And I did this whole thing, and then their next comment was about the element that Maoduzushi is a Chinese donghua, right? That there's just things common in Chinese fantasy, that just doesn't get explained by the show. So is being told something that the show will never explain a spoiler? And that their example was like, if you're playing D&D and wizards have staffs and giant hats and whatnot, that it's just a cultural thing normal for D&D players that, say, a Chinese person might not know, or things like that. So it's just that element there that they weren't spoiling me. They just didn't preface that the show would never tell me. So I think if you're going to say stuff, preface that sort of thing. This isn't addressing them. Please. I already addressed them in a different thing. But I just mean, these clearly feel like spoilers. However, I do believe I've said something at the end of episode 2, which may indicate that I thought this, but I'm not going to read it for the sake of the show having not told us yet. Not the whole note, just that segment. There are 3 Gundam Mark IIs, one who was chasing Quattro, the one who piloted by Jarrett that crashed into the building in Green Noah 1, and the one that goes in to assist Jarrett. I guess that implies that number 1 is also a Mark II. Camille is a complicated person. Space Noid is an unfamiliar term to him because, depending on the source, Camille was either born on Earth and moved to space, or he's a Space Noid and the only people who would use that term would be non-Space Noids. I guess that's as per what I was saying. Camille's deal gets expanded on later.
Spoiler.
Yeah, I'm going to consider that spoiler. Okay, here's the thing, is that I'm editing out what I read out loud, but I'm not going to edit out the actual comment as it appears on screen. So you in the audience who's seeing this can determine for yourselves or not what is or is not a spoiler. I will say that these aren't like game-breaking spoilers. I don't feel like I now know information that will hurt anything, but I also feel like they're not things I need to tell you because it might affect how you enjoy the show. And I had no control over myself reading it. You have at least some control of not hearing me say it. The point is that they are saying Camille will get better, I feel like, as a character. Not like so. Better as their personal problems, it's better as a character.
Okay.
Next up we have David Butt from the Patreon. Again, same episode, The Black Gundam. Yeah. Just a clarification, but Zeta actually came out in 1985, 5 years after the original Gundam ended in 1980. So there was a pretty big gap between the 2 series. But while I love Zeta, it's one of my favorites, but I do agree that the first episode is kind of weak. In fact, when I rewatch the series, I always forget that episode 1 ends where it does, because when I get to the end of the episode, I realize that what I will always think is the second half of episode 1 is actually episode 2. Also, Camille is a character that took me a long time to warm up to because of how impulsive he is, and he is quite a divisive character overall.
So there's hope for him and for us yet, but we haven't got there yet. So
they said he's a divisive character. That doesn't imply to me that there's hope for him. I mean, not as per Angel James's comment.
Well, I mean, it depends on which side of the divide you fall in.
Yes.
Divisive implies that you could fall.
No, there we go. Back to the baby comments again.
Yeah. So
I wish I had keys on the desk.
I do have some keys, but they're over there, so no, I'm not gonna.
Oh, good thing you could remember.
Mm-hmm.
object permanence and all.
God, I'm gonna end up dead on the keyboard. I'm gonna and crash my head, and that's gonna be it. Like, well, death by reaction.
Well, no, it'd be
Cinder
death by bad jokes or retorts.
Yeah.
Death by retort.
Killer joke.
But yeah, no, I just mean that we're both on the same side of the line, so what does it even matter? I mean,
sure.
like I said, something could happen to like a flashback of an event that led him to dislike soldiers. What was the comment that I made? That maybe he like got forced into a work camp, and that Camille isn't even his real name; it's a name that they labeled him as a joke or to mess with him, and that's why he's so fighting against it. Like, something could be put out there that he's not like irredeemable yet. He's just very annoying and unlikable.
He could be in 79. He could be about the same age as the kids in War in the Pocket, right? More or less, they were about
we
10
don't really know
years
how
old.
old they were.
Between 8 to 10 years old. So yeah, he could be about that same age.
It's hard to tell character ages in anime. So, I mean, I don't know how old he is. He's in a karate class with a dude who could be like 25. But then again, actually, that guy looks like he's far older than Camille, but he doesn't look as old as Char did during Mobile Suit Gundam. So Char would have been 22, I believe, during Mobile Suit Gundam, and this guy looks younger than Char, but still definitely old. So I can't fucking tell. You got 4 ages in anime. Baby, child, 5 ages. Baby, child, young adult, grandparent.
Yes, 5.
Yeah, that's why I course corrected at the second mark when I realized that, again, it's all visual ages. It's not really, nobody gives a shit about numerical age. Because the difference between being, say, 16 and 22, not really visually there. Amuro just looks like a shorter version of what he looks like in the opening of the show.
Yeah.
Because I am, 7 years, so he would be 23 now? And
24.
Char would be 29.
He was 17.
I believe he was 16. Well, technically. Here's the thing. You remember when we were having that technically about how many years it's been since the end of the war, and you were like 8 years, and I was like, technically 7 years. Well, technically 17 if you think he was 16 in 79. Which I do believe. I believe he's 16 in 79, and Char was 22 in 79, which is why I'm saying he would be 23 now. Because if you're saying he was 17, I would have to believe that you're thinking he was 17 in 80, which would then make him 24. No, 23 still. Sorry. I'm continuing numbers. So I think he's 23, and that Char is 29.
Either way. That's the whole comment?
It's the whole comment.
I survived the comment section.
Well, to be fair, you didn't die. You didn't almost die during the comment section.
Fair enough. I think it's time for us to jump into the episode.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
I mean, oddly, reconsidering the opening, as we were talking about before,
yeah,
it is like, what do you call it? Not city pop? It's a bit of city pop, but at the same time, I don't think it's as good as, obviously, the 2 openings we got from Stardust Memory.
No,
but it feels like it invokes that in my head. But somehow I just don't like it as much as the Mobile Suit Gundam opening. Like, it's closer to the best opening, I feel. Well, second best, sorry, I forgot about Origins 40th anniversary opening, as I already brought up before. I feel like it invokes the second best opening of Gundam so far. but at the same time, it just has that feel of Mobile Suit Gundam's opening in that
Yeah.
we're so close to it by release date, not obviously chronological order. But at the same time, it just doesn't do as good a job. Also, I guess we're implying that there's going to be 4 Gundams. We just saw 4 Gundam-looking things launch from the ship.
The thing is that the mix of zaku's on one side, but the Gundam seems to be with the other guys. I don't know.
Apparently, they're not zaku's. That was an unread comment where somebody says they're not zaku's, but we'll see about that later or something. They don't look as good as zaku's either. I just don't like the... I said that looked like Luna too. I just don't like the look of these new mobile suits compared to the old ones.
I'll find out we get a narrator.
Now that you've sat through 2 episodes of an insufferable get, let me tell you what's happening. Meanwhile, at the Cobra space base...
Whose ship is this?
Apparently Captain Okita of the space battleship Yamato, based by that bridge design. That's a hell of a name.
Oh, he's wearing a
Earth Federation,
Zeon Earth Federation uniform.
Well, I mean, they're worried about the AUG following them, so clearly they must be Earth Federation. I wonder if I need to start doing the outlines of the people on the board for organizations that they're part of.
Damn, they did work him over. After you had him beat him up.
Admiral Hyman.
He did that on purpose, asshole.
Sorry, got my head stuck in a pencil sharpener.
These fuckers, I hate all of them.
I feel like you're a couple seconds ahead of me or something.
Yes,
you're complaining about shit that I haven't seen, so it's like... The dude's just like giving an order and you're like, these fuckers.
No, it's a pat on the back that it was like unnecessary. Is that a gravity module?
Oh no, actually you're behind me somehow.
Yeah.
I'm past the gravity module. It was talking about Amuro Ray when you were talking about gravity modules. Why does our ship have vending machines?
But the guy in the back also is wearing a...
No, that's a normal Earth Federation uniform.
And that guy looks like he's wearing a...
No, these are all just normal Earth Federation uniforms. Wasn't she the one that was just on the bridge before with the stupid-ass name?
Oh.
Yeah, because that's the guy. Never mind, we have 2 people that look exactly the same, apparently. I mean, he is. We know that. Those are espers. And we were talking about shirtless sleeves. Shirtless sleeves. That would be sleeves with no shirt.
Yeah, sleeveless shirt.
No, I'm gonna copyright that. Patent it. And just did nothing about it.
知ってます。けど内容は全然。
だろうな。ガンダムマーク2の走行は昔のままだというデータが出たが、本当なのか？
はい。母はそう言ってました。
So she must be working on it too.
母は材料工学専門ですから。
おお。
Oh, there we go.
マーク2の次のモビルスーツには新しい装甲を使うということも。
マーク2は所詮マーク2だというのか。
それについては、父はジオンの技術を積極的に取り入れていくつもりのようです。
Why? Xeon's technology would have to be 7 years out of date at this point. Unless they're talking about Axis technology, which we saw was really good in Stardust Memory.
Oh, we have a retracting bridge.
No, that's a retracting bitch, all right. It's our new nickname for Camille.
まだ見えないのか、エウンゴメ。
モンブランも追撃艦を確認したようです。どうします、キャプテン？
気に入らんな。コースが面白くない。バレるかもしれんが、グリーンオアシスの南へ下り、地球へ向かう。
はっ。
どうしたキャプテン？
は、ちょいとグリーンオアシスに戻
I guess it just implies that Char is a member of the Federation and stealing from the Titans?
I don't know.
Well, they're talking about the AUG following them, so they can't be part of that.
どの道リスクはあるのだから。
How are we 3 episodes in and we can't tell what faction the characters are in?
敵のモビルスーツを見るだけならば、女房は関係ないだろ。
現場で敵の装甲が手に入ることだってあります。
材質調査を戦場でやれというのですか？
バスク大佐のご命令です。
キャプテン、フランクリン対ヒルダ注意登場しました。
よし、アレキサンドリア発進する。ゲート開け。
Why is it everyone's heads looks like they got crushed between doors?
Okay. And now that looks like a conversion of a Xeon battleship, right?
No.
But in black instead
Too
of
many
instead of
hard
red.
right angles. Xeon ships are all weirdly rounded. Well, except for the ones that look like asteroids that turned into ships.
Oh no, they're saying that the guys here are attacking. Okay.
Real quick, what's your time code?
My time code is 8:46.
You are 10 seconds
Roughly?
behind me.
Oh, okay. So you're 8:56. Okay, let me catch up.
No, actually, pause. Just pause. Let's go back to 8:39 before I even mentioned the time code. I think that's before I mentioned the time code, and it will just both start from 8:39.
Okay, I'm at 8:39.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
あんな戦艦は連邦軍にはない。エブン王が自前で作ったとでも言うのか。どういうことだ。臨検する必要はあるが、受け入れるか。
モビルスーツ発進用意。砲撃用意。
Yeah, the answer to that is no.
Yeah, but who are they with? There's gonna be a 5th party?
我々が軍を動かしたことを信じてないらしいな。
グリプスのバスクの隊でないからだ。ガルバルディが来るぞ。
4機です。4機も。
Gold baddies?
リックディアスは待機。いつでも出られるようにしておけ。
Rick Dawes?
減速は
I'm familiar with Rick Doms.
Yeah.
Maybe even Rick James, but
早いな。
is it?
速度は落とさない。臭いな。
Just like that one Dragon Ball Z character. It's fast, and I say that as the Red Comet.
Yeah. I will say that this animation gives you more sense of spatial, like when they're moving and she's making connect.
ルナ2のボスニア所属のガルバルディです。
出るかもしれんぞ。
もう少し待て。こちらから先導はしたくない。
聞こえるか。機関の所属を明らかにしろ。当方の命令にこれ以上した。
Yes, please do identify your affiliation. That would help us a lot.
我が方はエウーゴだ。命令は聞けない。
了解をした。
Are you? You just said something about the AUG following you.
こいつやる。そこだ。
I'm definitely gonna have to take note of
Oh, she's
that
good.
when I go for the notes to figure out what I'm going wrong here.
発進。
So you have Grips, you have AAU, you have...
No, Grips is the name of the colony.
Yeah.
You have the Earth Federation, you have the Titans, you have the AUG, and you have Zeon.
あなたいつもそう。自分のことしか頭にない。
今はバスクのことを考えている。この状況が異常なことぐらい承知している。
どうですか。マルガリータって若い女のことを考えているのでしょ。
Cool.
Well then. You know, I don't
No
think I'm
one he
gonna
gets
like
it
this
for.
show very much, Lessons. It's full of
Yeah.
assholes. I... Yeah. Pretty funny. But,
Yeah.
I don't think I can think of 3 people that are pleasant.
No.
Fa, maybe. Emma, maybe? The floor we were on earlier? Don't refer to those as decks?
Again with a red comment.
Legitimately, there was 3 red mobile suits flying around the ship before you launched in your red mobile suit, and now there's another red mobile suit. Do we just think that every time we encounter another mobile suit?
It's a red comment. If it's red and not mine, it's a red comment.
Well, that would mean that there's 3 red comments here.
Yeah, this animation is kind of rough in places.
Well, because it's 1985.
Yeah.
大丈夫なのかな。
実践慣れした部隊だ。ようやく一機か。信号だ。
Sorry, it's the MIRV of flares.
ボスニアから撤退命令が出た。乗せられてしまった。あの赤いモビルスーツに。母艦の支援がないと勝てないのか。
エデーがやられました。
分かっている。私に見えなかったと思っているのか。
いえ。
赤い彗星が相手だったと思いたい。でなければ立場がない。
I mean, it would have, I guess, mean the reappearance of the Red Comet after 7 years.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just confused by them identifying themselves as the AUG when they themselves were wondering what the AUG was up to. So either they're a fifth faction and was lying about being AUG to mask themselves, or I've just massively misread everything that's going on.
ゲリドの命令書は後続のカプセルが視界に入ったら開くのだ。はっ。エマシーン注意の交渉は15分間が限度だ。いいな。はっ。
そのカプセルというのは強力な爆弾でしょうか。
そんなところだ。
では、初めてハイザックに登場する者もいるが、高度の訓練だと。
His X.
今回の作戦は。
Now I know where Snoop Dogg got it from.
明日は別の者に招待状をやってもらうから、そのつもりで。
Sorry, were we not going to pan over to see who the blue-haired person was?
Apparently not. You.
手書きの命令書か。 敵モビルスーツらしきものをキャッチ。
来たか。ビッグディアスの補給は。
終わりました。
早いな。
さっきと侵入方位違います。別動隊です。
Well, at least we know that if this is a product of its time, we're never going to get earlier than this.
True.
I would hate to think that we're at that point, though. And for the second to third time this episode, Camille checks the window.
The little white flag.
Was it damaged? Did I miss that?
Yeah, it got hit.
Well, I saw it got hit, but they never said it was the engine that got damaged or anything. Also, what is waving the flag?
Yeah. I guess
Space.
movement, vibration from the hand?
Yeah, but you'd have to be doing that actively.
Yeah.
このモビルスーツに近づく者がいれば、あのハイザックが狙撃をします。
一人で乗り込んできたらしい。モビルスーツでか。ガンダムだよ。一号機。女じゃないか。
Is she?
Okay, that's a priority. Yeah,
well,
I guess.
I mean, based on what? The helmet that's slightly open a little bit? Yeah, she's seen you before. You sold a Gundam in front of her. Also, you knew her name without her telling you her name, so
yeah,
that's the psychic thing. So are they actually Titans pretending to be AUG?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Well, I mean, that seemed obvious. I don't know, this really feels like that guy from 8th MS Team.
I mean,
maybe.
Maybe because the scale is a little too small, you know.
No, this is literally Thunderbolt, remember? We got your dad hostage. If you don't fight in the war for us, we'll kill your dad.
Yeah.
We've done this before, Zeon. Now, does Camille care enough about his parents? Or maybe contact it, because seeing a capsule isn't going to tell you.
Oh, this.
Sorry, we couldn't get a good look at it. Let's get a closer look at it. Ah, that name that I hate. The parents, right?
Yep.
I mean, if it was a hologram, you just look at it from a different angle, and it wouldn't be the same. And yet again, both sides don't protect the Gundam from anything.
ガンダムマーク2 3号機出ます邪魔はしないでくれ俺はお袋を助けに行くんだ
クワトロ隊の言う通りですここはバスク大佐の
それはできん。マーク2 3号機が動いた。カミユがやってんの。なんでだ。あいつが。
あの子が
やめさせろ。
I'm saying Earth Federation, no guards in front of the Gundam's entrance. These guys, same thing.
なんであんなところにお袋がいるんだ
So I assume he's about to be responsible for his own mother's death.
エマが戻った合流信号が出るはずだ違うかエマは1号機のはずだカプセルを奪おうってのが
Yeah, you had orders to shoot the capsule. Why are you shooting at him? So presumably her husband gave her up for this.
Apparently.
This is very much a scene that I've seen in Voltaire 5. Except that was exactly like this, in fact.
爆弾もろとも消えてなくなれよ3号機
Jump out of the cockpit, grab her, bring her back into the cockpit real quick, and hope she didn't suffer too much damage.
なんだなんでもなかったのかどういうんだ
Well, I mean,
Something did
one thing
happen.
happened. Well, he was expecting an explosion.
なんでもないのかなんだ一体なんだというのだこの不愉快さは
Well, because obviously he's about to go psycho on your ass.
Yeah. Yeah. To be on the receiving side of a Gundam is not gonna be fun
Well,
for
he's
you.
in a Gundam too.
No,
I think he's
in a-
literally in Gundam. No, that's right. You're right. He's in that Batabaldi or what the fuck they're called.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was imagining he was in Unit 2. Into the happy music.
Yeah. The problem I find with, like, yeah, I sympathize with Camille. That was a horrible thing to do, right? Although
I think
part
it
of is
establishes
problem-
where the anger comes from. We were wondering if it was for the
Yeah.
father. Well, clearly it seems to
Yeah.
be. Although, he did not want to see his mother anyway. He was actively running away
Yeah.
from her. So maybe he associates the pain he has from his father with her as well. I could see that being
Taylor
a
to
thing.
protect them, right? Parents, one is abusive and the other one doesn't do anything. From the point of view of the child believes, oh, you should be protecting me because you're supposed to be my mother, right? That happens. But but we saw that she was being abused, right? And she's smacked around by him, so, yeah.
Not a fan.
No.
It's just... I mean, I think he could have done something to save her.
Like, put the
Oh,
hand
hold on.
higher.
Yeah, hold on.
アレキサンドリアに戻ったエマシーンはバスクオム配下のティターンズの行動に疑問を抱いた。それがエマの第二の目覚めの始まりだ。カミーユにとっても
Reawakening.
年上の新しい恋人か。次回機動戦士ゼータガンダムエマの脱走。君は時の涙を見る。
Well, it's good to know that the narrator from Mobile Suit Gundam handed off his job to his son, where he taught literally to always give spoilers. One, what the fuck is the reawakening of Emma? Because we never saw the awakening of Emma.
Yeah.
Did not see any connection between Camille and Emma that would make me think that they were going to get into a relationship. Apparently, she's attractive.
I mean, that's a start, but...
But no, my thing was he could have saved her. He could have reached out, scooped her, pulled her towards his cockpit, opened the cockpit, brought her inside, repressurized the cockpit. I mean, she still would have needed a drastic, immediate medical attention. But better than just letting her float off.
I mean, I think the shock of it is why he's like, what the hell?
Yeah, well, that
Right.
doesn't help her.
No, at all.
And I'm saying that this would be a future thing where you're going to think back upon it and think, oh, fuck, I could have done something.
But then again, the fact that he went out there, half cocked, set up the whole situation. No. Made the situation worse. Then I understand why he did it. It's his mom, right? He wants to. Although the way he was approaching is like, "Oh, you're always doing this. What the hell?" Right? It's like, did you went out to save her or what? Or confront her? Apparently, he just went out to confront her because he didn't.
I mean,
know
he
what the hell
ran
was going
away,
on.
so assumedly he didn't plan to see them again. I mean, I guess that implies that he didn't mean them any harm in leaving. So this situation is just not anything he would have expected, so he's thrown by it.
And again, reinforcing that the Titans, at least their leader, is a complete and utter asshole.
Yeah. I mean, the element that they know Camille is the one that stole it.
And used his parents, or in this case, his mother.
I guess Emma was there, so Emma knew. Plus, I guess he's sort of a celebrity. Amongst some small circles, not like a famous celebrity, but, amongst the people who like sports in the side that he's from. Or not the side, the colony he's from.
Also, the thing is, and this is pretty dumb, considering her expertise in material sciences and engineering, I guess Bosk doesn't think that that's important, but you wouldn't want to sacrifice somebody like that, especially if it literally Quattro said, oh, no, then I guess they're not going to upgrade the Mark II, so they're building something new, right? Like, well, the person that can help you build the thing new that you need to fight, you're putting her in this position? Yeah, the guy's some. Well, he was a moron.
We don't know her
Stardust
expertise,
memory,
and we don't know the degree of her expertise. She might not be that important to the project.
Still,
I mean, like when you say like we don't, there could be 100 scientists working on the project, and she might be like a lesser one. She's more important for her relationship to the pilot than she is for what she's doing on the project. Like maybe if we get like 10 episodes down the road, and someone shoots at the new Gundam model, and like it has an Achilles heel flaw because the materials weren't done right or something, and like, it's because she died.
So yeah, piss me off if Bascom doesn't end up with a shot between the eyes at some point. Probably
be hard
won't.
to tell because of the goggles.
Oh, the bleeding hole will tell me.
Not if the pressure of the goggles served as a not a tourniquet. Well, maybe. I forget what it's called. An Israeli like if you get a wound that need a tourniquet for, like way up on the thigh where you can't like put a regular tourniquet, that's called like an Israeli something. Might be an Israeli tourniquet for all I know.
You would do the pressure point would be right here between the thigh and the leg. So yeah, if you don't have enough material, then that might be difficult. But it should be done there, right? The different pressure points, for what I can remember from my first 8 classes. So
Israeli bandage. They are called Israeli bandages because they were developed by an Israeli military medic in the late 1990s to provide a more effective and versatile way to treat combat wounds. But yeah, it's essentially a tourniquet. Ben Nalin created a new design that integrated a pressure bar directly into the bandage, making it much more effective at controlling severe bleeding.
yeah, because that's the one thing that you turn.
The bandage is designed to stop bleeding from traumatic wounds by applying pressure directly to the wound site, and it can also be used to secure a splint. He noticed that the bandages available at the time were outdated and inefficient. Medics were often instructed to use a stone to apply pressure to a wound. I was hoping he would tell me the difference between a normal tourniquet and this. I guess this is just an all-in-one unit, and that's the difference. Because the only uses I typically see of it are being applied to places that would be difficult to do a tourniquet. Like, straight up the middle. Well, if you get a wound in your taint, you can't tourniquet that shit.
Yeah.
But apparently you could with an Israeli bandage.
But yeah, this shock. I mean, I expected he was going to try something like this, so it shouldn't be that shocking.
I mean, I didn't. The
Like,
element
bring out
here
the
is that
parents.
there isn't a solid timeline. Not timeline. There's not a solid storyline that's yet happening. Like, I understand that we've stolen the Gundam, and here's the thing. Every time we've tried to steal a Gundam before, we've known who the group was. Even when it came to Gundam Seed, right? Gundam Seed Destiny, we didn't know who they were, and then like by episode 2 or 3, we knew the party involved.
Sure. Yeah.
Or actually, we could have just assumed when we first met them who they were. But here, I'm still confused. Like, I thought they said that they weren't AEUG, and then when they called them on the ship, they said identified themselves as the AEUG. And it's like, did I mishear before? Are they lying? The element that anyone could be lying at any point just always throws me, because it's like, if I don't know enough before, if you start lying, not the time to be lying, dude. If you want me to follow the show, I got pages of notes already, and I'm still confused.
Yeah.
It's just the element that it feels like we've been thrown in 7 years later, like we have, without the establishment of everything that came before it, and have not been helped by the couple of shows that took place after the end of the war and here. You know, one Thunderbolt started as a manga set in its own thing, and then they made it into an UC, and that obviously didn't help for anything. Stardust Memory just set up that the Titans became a thing. Certainly doesn't really help here, now that we're here.
I mean, a simple narration is like, oh, the Titans were, well, I guess because they're supposed to be secret.
No, you don't backtrack. You were on the right path. It literally in the narrative. It's been 7 years since the end of the 1 year war. The rise of the Titans, an anti-Zeon organization. Literally, the G.I. Joe narrator could have handled this. The rise of an anti-Zeon operation known as Titans. You know, it's literally would have been super simple. We would have known what was going on from the get-go. But instead, they've Mario Brothers 2'd this. It's too hard for the Americans. Give them something else. We can't. We saw what happened with Macross. We'll never get international rights. Well, they wouldn't have, because Macross, you know, whatever. But the point being is that this is... I feel like I'm watching anime for the first time, and I just don't get it. I mean, I'm watching, like, 11 other shows right now that I have no problem understanding. I'm watching Chinese donghua that bases itself on you understanding Chinese social norms when it comes to naming and how you talk to people, which is different, by the way, than Japanese in some cases. I didn't know courtesy names were a thing. Apparently they are. And, you know, Chinese fictional history, which is to say, not Chinese fictional history, Chinese mythology. Yeah. Like, you understand what it means when you see a golden ball in someone's chest? And I don't mean like on the inside. I mean like an internal look, and they've got like a golden glowing ball. Or what it means when it gets fucking destroyed. Because I'm learning by osmosis, which is to say they don't explain it in the show because you're expected to know it because you're expected to be a Chinese person and not an American watching. Yeah. So I'm getting my way through that.
This is not this is a Japanese thing or a non-American thing, whatever, a Filipino thing. This is a story, we're writing it this way.
Yeah, what am I expected to have known from Mobile Suit Gundam to this? Was there like manga that was released between? Because we watched the movies, and we watched the show.
But the novelizations change a lot of things as well. And also, we're going to be 4 episodes in next time. And we see characters in the opening that we haven't seen except for Bright. It's the only
that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. That kind of reminds me of Magia Record, which I'm watching, which is like a spin-off story from Madoka Magica. And in the opening of Magia Record are the characters from Madoka Magica. So it's kind of the same effect that's going on here. Well, yeah, but they're the main characters of that story. And this story is a side story that has its own characters. Like, you get into like season 2 and they show up and it's like, oh, it's our characters. Like, and then they're like doing their own shit. They're not interacting with the other characters until eventually they do. I'm like giving no spoilers here other than the fact that it happens. But that's what the feeling I've got here is like, oh, okay, they're in the opening. Eventually, I assume they're going to come up. So I'm not too off-put by that, other than the fact that I would rather be watching them. You know?
Right now, yeah.
Like, I don't even care about Amuro. I would rather be watching Amuro right now. Char was an interesting character in Mobile Suit Gundam in the fact that he was hyped to all shit. and I expected him to do something cool. I can't really say that got paid off, but I was also coming in with the hype from Origin as well. And he is as interesting as he's ever been. Which is to say that there was some interest that when he flew off on that ship at the end of the movie, that there was something coming from that. And now he's just... You remember in Origin, in the opening, how he's playing basketball? He's gone back to that guy. Open shirt, no sleeves, sunglasses instead of the thing.
Yeah.
But just that's the guy. You take that look from Origin of him playing basketball. It's clearly they based that part of his backstory on this. This is a guy I could imagine playing basketball as a kid. Oh, let's make him play basketball as a kid. He's just not that interesting. And I feel like there's obviously some mystery mystery background element that he's up to, but it's not being indicated to us at all.
And he's still wearing something that conceals his eyes, like the glasses that we saw. That I had to wear these glasses because I have,
that and a secret name.
Yeah.
What's the hook? Reason. What am I supposed to be interested in right now? Is it Camille? Certainly not. But that's the only thing, right? Oh no, they killed his mother, and his father's abusive, and he's got a thing against the Titans, which his dad works for, and also is making them a Gundam or a space battleship, as is indicated by that other guy. It's like, why do I care though? Because right now it's AUG versus the Titans, which seems to be the main conflict, of which I am still uncertain that we have ever seen any AUG member. So I don't know if these guys are AUG. Char is former Zeon. I would expect him to be Zeon. We know there's a Zeon group out there. Obviously, there has to be, if Titan's mandate is to fight Zeon, they would have to either have a new mandate, which is to fight the AUG, or not exist. Yeah, so that implies...
these guys showed up, fight them too, yeah.
Yeah, so that implies that the mandate is the same, that Zeon still must be out there. But why do I care? I hate being so negative so quick. We're 3 episodes in, right? But why do I care? I like Gundam. I think I've indicated this time and time again. I am so invested in the story. And somehow, they pumped the brakes pretty hard.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me how I felt about the partial colony. No. I'm still in Gundam, but in Gundam Seed Destiny, it's they're doing the colony drop again? But...
Well, to be fair, it's a copy of the original Gundam, and now we've seen there's 2 colony drops in the original Gundam at the very least, so... Although I would anticipate that's actually a copy of something yet to come. Something you know about, and I've hinted at possibly having seen on a toonami thing while I was at the hospital.
So, but then, the same thing is these people, because it was there's the Sala faction. Okay, I know about Sala. And then, for one brief look at a data pad, we never talk about them ever again.
Oh, no, because we covered near the end that the Zala faction may have been an object of our own creation. As an explanation of what was going on, as it turns out, it was an existing faction who just also happened to be believers in Zala's message.
Yeah.
It's funny, I was going through the Gundam Reddit earlier today, and someone posted a thread about appreciating Patrick Zala and, what was his name? The blonde-haired kid who was in charge of Blue Cosmos.
Yeah, the kid, not the jackass.
Well,
he looks jackass.
I mean, he's probably an adult, but he looks like a fucking kid.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Because I have to assume, I didn't read the thread, but this is the pictures of those two to say I now appreciate them more. And it has to be an indication towards the villains of Seed Destiny versus Patrick Zala had a message and he had a plot and he went through a whole thing. Durandal had a storyline and then 2 episodes of a plot. Anyway, here's my final thing before we wrap up here on this episode. Besides any of the characters that have existed in previous Gundam shows, what is your favorite character from this show?
Quatra?
I can't. I know you're going through a loophole here. You're going to say that's not Char. I said that not a character from a previous show, and we've already acknowledged that he's been Char multiple times. You didn't keep playing the joke. You've already acknowledged he's Char.
No one right now. No one.
Again, I want to say
character.
that no one isn't an answer, and I understand where you're coming from when you say no one. Name at least one person. This is that red letter media thing where they go through and say, name a characteristic of any character from Phantom Menace, and you're like, I can't characterize any of them. They have no character. Name one character it's enjoyable to watch in the last 3 episodes that's not a character from Mobile Suit Gundam.
I guess Emma, because of her reaction to like, we wouldn't do this. Blah, blah, blah. That's it. That's only person.
Camille's love interest, apparently.
Apparently, yeah.
I would say Fa.
For some reason.
Fa's been slightly enjoyable.
Yeah, but we left her behind, and now she's
cool. So she can't be ruined by the ongoing show.
Yeah.
The best characters are the dead ones. They no longer have to suffer.
Or the forgotten ones.
Oh,
she was alive.
Well, the problem is I'm asking you to name a person, so you can't name a forgotten person because you've forgotten them.
Yeah. Wow. So, yeah, I guess Fa probably was the only person asking the real questions. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And he's like,
well, no, she's like a normal ass person. She is the fraud of this story, and I mean, I'm not like being serious about the fact that she's been left behind, and that's interesting. I just mean that she was a normal ass person, like maybe Karate Man.
Yeah,
you're like, I'm leaving. What do you mean you're leaving? Who told you could leave? Yeah, that was pretty funny for half a second. The captain was a dick. Maybe the linear train voice was pretty fun for a while.
For a second,
well, 15 seconds save you. We got laughs out of that. That was good times. Jared's talking to himself about sexualizing names. Camille's never going to be on that list. Carcassonne, Beat Up Bright, Basque, Greenlit, the beating up of Bright, Jamiroquai, or whatever the fuck his name is, as a pencil for a head. But he also got in on beating up Bright.
Oh yeah, no, that scene where the guy pulls back, Basque pulls back the paper, so he has to reach for like, and then when he's going out, he just spats him in the back.
He's the one that pushed him over and then started hitting him when he was on the floor. Matu, she's just a dick. I don't know that the wife has any their mom has any characterization to begin with.
She just went to pick up her son run away from her.
Well, also in this episode here, just the element
she died.
Yeah, just like she's nobody because nothing really comes of her other than her sacrifice. The dad's clearly a dick of some sort.
Yeah, she accused him of cheating on her, and his response was to slap her in the face.
Emma is incompetent, and I don't know that I can enjoy that. Well, there's the whole thing of I don't agree. I'm not his personal army thing, but the element that's also Camille just jumped into the cockpit and she did nothing about it, and there was no way to get him out, and she just like let that shit happen. Roberto and Apolli was his name. Haven't seen them since episode 2, so nobody on this new ship I give a shit about. It's Beardo and other Beardo. So
and the people from Luna 2 that came out to intercept them was like, it's that she was a good pilot. She stood up against Quattro and survived. So I guess she was good enough pilot.
Yeah, but those were the kind of guys that I think they had a name and no face. Like one of them had a face, but he wasn't given a name. So
yeah,
we had Eddie. Eddie is the only person I remember getting a name. But I'm saying those are nobodies. I don't even think they're going to make the board because I doubt that they're like listed characters. They're just people who showed up for the fight. We get tons of those all the time. They used to be in Mobile Suit Gundam. They would make the board because they were given names and faces. But I think the people who got named aren't the people who were on camera, and the people on camera never got named.
I think she got a name, but I don't know what the name is. That's how memorable she is.
No, you're talking about the person from the ship. I already said I didn't care about anybody on the ship.
No. Remember the one that said, "Oh, I have to inspect the
Yeah,
ship."
no,
and
they
she's
were
like,
no,
"Oh,
they were
that's fine."
talking on the ship before, and then she launches after talking to the captain. I'm saying that's the person
Yeah.
from the ship. I've already indicated I don't give a shit about anybody on the ship.
Yeah.
I don't even know what faction those people are on. That's what I'm saying. I don't care about them yet. There is nobody beyond Fa, and in your case, Emma. Like, I'm not looking forwards to watching the show because I want to know what Fa is up to.
No.
3 episodes. That is 72 minutes, at the very least, of what are we doing? I had more fun listening to the Tuesday correspondence from Legend of the Galactic Heroes 3 times in a row. I'm sorry, people who like Zeta. I went into maybe again, this is that element of his hype, a spoiler, that people said this was amazing. This is like the best thing in Gundam. And I'm just like, this is a bummer. This is just a real bummer. And not because it's sad. We've seen bad shows that we've been like animate about, but I don't know. Anyway, your final thoughts?
How many episodes is this again?
50.
Yeah, we're for
and
a
then
long,
50 of
long
Double
ride.
Zeta.
Yeah. And I heard that people don't hate Double Zeta. So it's
I've heard that Double Zeta is the worst. But I think I said this last time, that maybe I got it backwards. I don't think so. Maybe I just heard a hearsay. So, I don't know.
Whatever's going to happen is going to happen in 47 episodes. Here's to hoping.
All right. Well, with that said, once again, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?